From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Your home for the biggest matchups in the NFL. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings won last night 117-114. De'Aaron Fox scored 32 points, shooting 12-17 from the floor and 4 of 6 from behind the arc, including the final 3 when Fox called game over with 0.7 seconds left. For more on the game, check out our Kings insider Frankie Cardoselli's recap on SactownSports.com. Kings will have no time to rest. They're back in action tonight when they visit the Brooklyn Nets. You can listen to the game with coverage starting at 3 with game night and tip-off scheduled for 4:30 right here on Sactown Sports. And now it's time for Deuce and Mo.
Live from Sacramento.
It's Deuce and Mo
On Sactown Sports.
We are live. Happy 316 day, baby.
Oh, you got
Look at this icon.
Wow.
Stunning Steve Austin.
Oh,
We celebrate it every year.
wild.
Okay, that was not
Wild.
genuine.
I know. I was
Dude,
thinking
that's
about
crazy.
like a date and like people celebrate you because you are associated with this date.
Yeah, an icon, a legend
Yeah. No.
on the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
I mean, they had Michael Jordan Day this year. They have. I
No.
mean,
Did,
oh,
yeah.
Let's all acknowledge that 316 day is way better than any other Michael Jordan
what about
weird
Pi
day.
Day? 314.
3.14791.
What about May 4th? May the 4th be with you.
I'm not a Star Wars person. I don't connect.
Okay. That's no. And I really like this day. I think
just, again, you're trying to take away from the day today.
not at
How about
all.
9/16?
What's 9/16?
Oh, 916.
Oh, nice.
Mexican Independence Day.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you, Chris.
See, I was going 916 day
That's what I was
Sacramento.
doing. That's
Um,
what I was doing.
By the way, I'm giving love to I'm saying how epic is that like you have a day associated with you for the rest of your life. That's so cool. Like that's what you've accomplished in your career. Then I was naming other days that obviously we can crap on. I hate Pi Day anyway. Like math, screw you, you know?
Well, I got some math.
Oh.
Kings have 41 wins.
Ooh, quick math.
What the hell, man? What is happening this year? We got so much to get to today. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan. We've got Chris Watkins with us this hour, of course. He's got his new show. Airs before ours, 10 to 11 right here on Sactown Sports, SactownSports.com. De'Aaron does it again. And what I loved about last night, sometimes you do need to win ugly. You got to grind it out. And that was a pretty ugly game for the Kings. 20 turnovers. Didn't really shoot well in the first half. There's chaos at the end, but De'Aaron comes up big again. And his growth, what he's turned into, there's a debate if this guy was an all-star this year. Now he's an all-NBA guy.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, in the debate at the beginning of the season was absolutely fair. You know,
I'm talking about right before the all-star game. Like, we thought he should have been on
that,
the team. Yeah.
That was ridiculous. I think that was like, it was such an obvious thing, and it was like him or SGA.
Mhm.
And now, I mean, you should have seen this before the all-star break, but you see, if you want to compare the two, SGA and him have, you know, very similar years in like what they're doing that is great. But the difference is, and what people always put into their criteria is one team is winning and they're winning big.
Yeah.
And the other team, the player that is, you know, playing all-star caliber play is not translating into wins. So that almost being taken away from De'Aaron Fox, someone's going to get hit.
Yeah. I mean,
Violence.
it's the same way like the Kings have continued to raise the bar all season where it's like, okay, play in. Okay, now, okay, maybe for sure play in. Okay, now play off. Okay, maybe now home court advantage. It does feel like De'Aaron's having the same trajectory of like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe he's an all. Oh, no, he is an all-star. Oh, okay, yeah, he I think he deserved that all-star bid. Maybe he can get some consideration for all NBA, possibly. Now it's like, can he get MVP talks? Like just talks again. Like
I said that last. I agree with you, Chris. I agree. I mean, again, we all know De'Aaron Fox is not.
He's
gonna
not
be the
winning
MVP.
the award.
It's
no shame to
Giannis.
him.
It's Jokic or Embiid.
Yes,
But when they put out the top 5 and
can he get some
Luka's in
fifth
there,
places?
Luka, you're out. You're not in it anymore. No, you're out.
Yeah.
Your team's below 500. You're hurt. Disappointing season.
Yep.
De'Aaron should be in the top 5.
Yeah. No, I think it's those three guys. I think it's Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis.
Tatum.
Maybe exactly.
And I know
maybe
there's
Jason
been a
Tatum
little bit
gets,
of a drop off.
right. But I mean, the Celtics are still the number 2 seed right now. Something has to be acknowledged with the fact that the Kings are the number 2 seed in the Western Conference.
And
Like
it's
you
not
can't.
fluky.
It's not fluky at all. It seems like Domas is pretty much a lock for that 3rd team All NBA behind Jokic and Embiid, with them being the centers. But there needs to be as much recognition as possible for the Kings. Like, I mean, De'Aaron getting Clutch Player of the Year. I need Mike Brown getting Coach of the Year. I need Monty getting heavily considered for Executive of the Year.
No, he needs to win it.
Wait, so
He probably should.
he just mentioned, Mike Brown, Coach of the Year, Monty McNair, Executive of the Year. Can De'Aaron Fox win Most Improved, Mr. Clutch, All NBA?
Yeah.
Like,
Most Improved's a good shout.
I know. And then MVP
Yeah.
conversation,
Mhm.
That's not winning anything, but like
Yeah.
Most Improved. How John Morant won Most
Right.
Improved last year.
Right.
That's true.
So like, and I think sometimes people look at that as like a knock if you're already at this level in
Yeah.
your career, but no, it took him his 6th season to take this giant leap to
Right.
take a team that has not seen the playoffs in 16 seasons.
Yeah.
This is not a Cinderella story. This is the real deal. This is just, yes, all these guys deserve every single award that is out there.
Something Sam Amick said today, and I don't know why. Either I learned about this in the past as I get choked up here,
Mhm.
or I just forgot about it. I didn't realize the Executive of the Year is voted on by NBA front offices.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool. It's better.
okay.
I like that a
Yeah.
lot better than,
I don't know.
Media,
Like, so does,
yeah.
does Monty like
Is
get
he
some
good?
love
Is he
today,
cool?
this
Is he
year?
cool with the other
He's cool
executives?
with Daryl. We know that. Though I don't know if Daryl is cool with other GM. It doesn't seem like
And
it
wouldn't
seems like-
they have egos? I feel like there's a lot of
Probably,
egos
right.
involved in that situation of
Oh,
Yeah.
voting.
for sure.
Who would
like-
even be like considered otherwise? Because it probably would have been
Danny
Danny
Ainge.
Ainge had, but Utah's kind of sputtered out, and that's what I was going to mention with the Most Improved. Like Laurie seemed to have had that Most Improved kind of lockdown. But
Yeah.
that was more of a first half of the season. I think if you're taking it in totality, I think De'Aaron absolutely has a shout. But yeah, for exec, it's like it's Danny Ainge who, which also, if you're saying Danny Ainge gets Executive of the Year for a 500 team, like, is it really because of the draft picks that he acquired
Right.
instead
Right.
of the actual on-court product? So that's kind of strange, but it doesn't really feel like anybody else really made as drastic of a change to their entire team that the Kings did.
It's because Danny Ainge manipulated people behind the scenes to make that trade with Minnesota.
He did something.
He
And
did
because
whatever
something.
he
Yeah, I
did,
don't know.
blackmail, I don't know what
he
it
had
was.
something on Tim Conley. I am convinced of that. There's no other explanation as to why you would mortgage that much for Rudy Gobert in that situation. Dude, we have so much to talk about today. The NCAA tournament's going
What's
on.
going on?
It's
I
happening
love
today in
this.
Sacramento, right?
now, yeah. What's the
Wait.
score? That 23-18 right now in Golden One Center. Mizzou is leading Utah State.
Shout out Nemias Keita's former
Right.
alma mater, Utah State, in the building.
Yeah.
We'll keep you up to date on some of the scores throughout the day too. But yeah, I mean, what the Kings are doing right now, it's absurd. De'Aaron Fox, and my favorite part about last night with Fox, I don't know about you. If I hit a game-winning 3 like that, I'm doing some jaw jacking.
I mean, he did.
No.
I'm effing nice.
He did not even do the hand thing, Morgan.
I-
That's the thing that was so crazy about the whole
Yeah.
sequence. How calm he was. He
Yeah.
launched a shot, turn, and had a smirk and said,
Yeah.
I'm effing nice. And just gave a simple dap to Malik
Yeah.
Monk. Like,
I said,
Oh,
gosh,
this
you
is-
see all the intricacies of that handshake?
well, okay. You know what I'm saying, though? It wasn't like, hey, we're
No,
jumping up
yeah.
and down, going crazy. He's got a little Dame in him late
Yeah.
in game. Like, Dame hits a big shot and he's just walking. He's strutting down the floor. And yeah, pointing to his wrist like it's Dame time. Fox is having that in the fourth quarter now. He's walking around like, yeah, this is what I do. He hit 2 game-winning shots, I thought, right? I
Yeah.
thought when he
The
hit that
41
mid-range
second. Yep.
with 41 left, I was like, that's the dagger, game
Yep.
over. And then the wildness happened that we could talk about. But Fox was just, he's so calm in these situations.
I think that's why people are calling him game over.
You pushed that yesterday, didn't you?
I did.
And I kind of like it.
I do too.
I'm not
Game
like,
over.
Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't like roll. That was my issue with off night though too. Is it doesn't like to call someone off night is like that's not a name.
Yeah, and you can't call him
Yeah.
Mr. Clutch because that's Jerry West.
What
Sure,
about
that's right.
he is Mr. Game Over?
Mr. Game Over. Okay.
It's a lot. Mr.
No, it's
Game
not.
Over. Why Mr.?
Hey, mister.
Captain Game Over.
Captain Game Over.
Game over.
Sergeant Game Over.
Sergeant Game Over, sir. No,
Yeah,
Those are probably
I
right
don't
off
know
the top.
what would be the nickname.
Deuce is not like.
No, my brain's not firing at all cylinders. I'm trying to think. Of a
I
good
think we'll
nickname.
just go with Game
How
Over
about
for
like
right now.
Malik is God of Dunk? How about like God of Clutch or something?
God of Clutch.
God of Dunk isn't great either. To be fair.
I need something short,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Even shorter than Game Over.
So Fox.
3
Yeah,
syllables.
that's a good one. I like that.
De'Aaron.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's call him De'Aaron.
dear him.
Yeah.
Dare him.
Hey, if you have thoughts on what went down last night with Sacramento Kings, you can hit us up 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. The Kings 9-2 coming out of the break, beating the Bulls last night 117-114. The end of the game was insane. I thought the Kings had the game under wraps. You know, Edwards misses a free throw and Barnes misses a free throw. And then all of a sudden, Harrison Barnes gets called for a foul on the DeRozan three-point attempt. Count the basket, 4-point play. I'm not even going to pay attention to the NBA last 2-minute report when it comes out because they will say it's a foul.
Yes, they will.
I woke up this morning. I'm not, you know what? I'm not emotional right now. I'm feeling good. Wipe the sleep out of my eyes, and I'm gonna watch this again. My team won. I'm happy. I'm going to stop it, bro. Sure, you can call it. Where was the foul? I said it last night, Morgan. He may have tickled his elbow a little bit. Maybe that's what altered the shot, but there was no Morgan. When we first started talking about it, she's like, no. Slap.
That was me going on the elbow. I wasn't going like he just demolished
Like
his
you're doing the
elbow. I
haka.
was going right here, like he got him.
What
And
was
that's
your reaction to that? What do you think?
That is the most baby contact I think I've ever
It
seen
is.
on a foul call ever. Like that is by the most letter of the law contact, and I guess contact equals foul. Because it's like my thing is it's a contact sport. Like people are going to make contact with each other.
yeah.
For him to literally graze his I don't even know if graze is the right word because he touched
Tickled.
he just for not even half a second had his hand brush his elbow.
Yep.
And then he pulled back.
Yeah.
And there was I don't know.
You know, if someone lightly touches you, it might give you the chills.
Yeah,
just tickles you a
little.
It was like a tickle /
Yeah.
chills. DeRozan got a little chill, like,
Oh, that's 100%. You guys,
Sometimes light touches are even worse than heavy
Yeah.
touch. you know?
that's what it was. So I mean, not even just
Clearly, it didn't affect the shot either. By the way, he hit nothing but net.
he hit it, but what it did was just like anyone. You're gonna feel that sensation of physical touch, and you're going to.
Do you in
Hey.
the moment?
Here's my point. He's going to react to
No.
it. And he sold it, right? That's what
Did
happened.
he even
No,
sell it?
here's
I
the
didn't really
question.
think he sold it. I
totally
feel like the
did
ref just
afterward.
blew the.
Here's the question I have
What?
for Chris.
Oh,
And we'll talk about coming up next.
Oh, Seacrest
nice.
Oh, what?
after the break.
Seacrest.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
He used to do that for American Idol all the time. Well,
Yeah.
Figure
Dude,
out
I am not in a good spot
Justin
right now.
Guarini,
I am
will he
not-
make it? We'll find out
Next.
after the
No,
break.
here's my question for you and for the audience, and we'll address on the other side. If they don't call the foul, he makes the three. Does DeRozan
No.
say award?
No.
I said we'll
Hold
answer on the other
on.
side, but hey,
No.
we can talk about it with you guys. 339-140-920-1140. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the radio side. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports 1140.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter.
Oh my God. But first of all, why is it 100 degrees in here?
Yeah, maybe that's
I
why
feel
it's
a
like
little nauseous.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, YouTube chat? Make sure to hit the thumbs up, please. What is going up? Fill up. Josue, Todd. Todd did not affect the shot at all. I agree. Frankie C's in the chat. I like Mr. Fourth Quarter.
Frankie C. The Frankie C.
Yeah.
But didn't Mr. Fourth Quarter kind of go to Isaiah Thomas once he was with the Celtics?
Oh, it did.
It's
yeah.
such a it's unoriginal.
Yeah, right. That's my point. It's
Mr.
like
Fourth Quarter. Okay, basic.
he's Mr. Game Over.
That's basic, Frankie.
I love Mr. Game Over.
Big John.
Game Over is growing on you, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Says Star Fox. Ward says the Fox. I can't even say it.
it's
The
okay.
like the aux cord, but what's it?
Uh-huh.
Auxiliary?
Yeah.
Foxillary cord?
Mm.
It doesn't
No.
make sense.
What?
Wait, was that Frankie?
No. It
Oh.
almost sounds like a Frankie one, right?
Yeah, I definitely thought that was a Frankie. one.
Josue says Clutch King. Mace says King Clutch.
I like fourth quarter Fox.
fourth quarter Fox, Clutch King. I mean, Clutch King was the one that we came up with the other day, which makes
sense. You know,
the clutch thing. Yeah. Did you see Rich Paul was at the game yesterday? Courtside. He's been in a lot of games.
Why don't you show up in Sacramento, coward? Oh my God! Oh my God! Is that De'Aaron Fox? Oh, maybe this is down. What do I have to turn up in here? What do I have to turn up in here for it to work?
The third one. Yeah, just turn. Yeah.
114. Kings out of timeouts. They use their last one for the challenge. Fox advances the dribble across the logo. 5 seconds to go. It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple. 7/10 of a second remaining. The three-point shot will be reviewed. It's not over yet, but fourth quarter Fox has come through one more time. Now, are they reviewing to see if it's a 2 or a 3? DeRozan says it's a 3. All right. 3-point goal is good. Fox puts the Kings on top with 7/10 of a second to go. Well, from the length of the floor, here's the inbound. And it's broken up by Fox. Great anticipation. It was intended for Levine, and the Kings will walk off the floor with a victory to open this road trip.
The music behind that call made me feel so badass.
Happy 316 day.
Truly.
You know, where did Fox grow up, Chris?
Where did he grow up?
Texas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the Texas rattlesnake, huh? Do we like that?
Isn't that already taken?
Yeah, Stone Cold, but he's spin off.
He can pass it on to him.
Yeah.
Well,
the Texas rat. But I guess you
They
want
do call him head of the snake all the time.
Head of the snake.
Head of the snake for 3.
Okay.
That's why I don't do
Yeah,
play-by-play.
that's exactly why you don't do play-by-play.
I just break it down.
Yeah, what a shot last night by De'Aaron Fox.
What a call.
Yeah, G-man.
I saw he got to do courtside. They put him in one of the few places that they let him sit courtside for the call. I'm sure
we
that
all
had
like
something to do
us
with it.
when you see him on the floor. It's like, oh wow!
I feel like that what is that Leo beam where he's pointing at the TV? I'm like, oh,
yes,
G-man. Look at that.
Well, really quick too, Deuce. I noticed that last night when he was on the scores table, and I'm like, what does that do for G-Man and his call? There was a different type of energy.
I was gonna say you could feel it, like just the excitement level. It feels like he's on the court with it. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
Yeah. For those who don't know, for the first 27, 28 seasons of G-Man's career, he sat courtside at every Kings game.
Every arena too, right?
Every arena was courtside.
Yeah.
And what's changed over the years is these teams have shrunk the scores tables and they sell those as premium seats. They have moved the radio broadcast up, which is kind of funny because radio, like you're supposed to like paint the picture, and TV is down lower.
They have the screens anyway.
TV being low is like totally unnecessary, to be honest.
Right.
And what?
Unnecessary, but at the same time, just
if you're to pick one to be close, you would pick radio over TV.
If you're going to pick one, but I was going to say for the extra nuggets of like, wow, you can hear so and so being so angry, and you can hear so and so talking up. So yeah, go on.
Yeah. But so yeah, he doesn't get, there's not many places in the league that have announcers courtside anymore. And I know G-Man feels the energy big time when he's that close to the action because you can see like adjustments. I mean, we sit courtside for Stockton games.
Yeah.
We could tell what Bobby Jackson's communicating with his team or like his frustration, or you could see certain things happening quick, or that call where when you're up so high in some of these broadcast positions in other arenas, you can't, the one we have at Golden One Center, which is the top of the lower level.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it seems doable.
Yeah,
right.
it's like, not bad. You could see, but there's
definitely worse for sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. So I was happy for him. Before the break, we were talking about that foul late in the game.
And what was the question?
So DeRozan gets fouled. I put in quotes fouled on that 3-point attempt and won. He ties the game at 114. I was so happy that Mike Brown had a challenge to use, and he used it there. That's why you have those challenges. Late game situations. They reviewed it a little too fast. Big Zach Zarba guy. One, sexy.
Hello.
Just stunning.
Yep.
He's a competent official too. Really good official. But I could not believe they called that. My question was, if they don't call it and DeRozan just knocks down the 3, do you think DeRozan is jumping up and down? The Bulls are jumping up and down going, how'd you miss that? Ah! Are we this morning talking about, hey, Man, they missed that call. No. But if the Kings lose, or someone mentioned this to me, and it's so true, if that was a playoff game and that happened in a playoff game and the Kings lost in a game one, it wouldn't just be in Sacramento. ESPN would be talking about, everybody in the basketball world would be like, that is the softest, most ridiculous call I have ever seen in a game.
Yeah.
And I know it's easy to brush aside because the Kings won the game. I thought that was a brutal call by the officials.
Yeah, I mean, like that's like you said. If they didn't call it, and then later on Twitter that night someone posts, "I can't believe they missed this. Harrison Barnes made." I would laugh. I would laugh in their face. I'm not a Twitter troll, but I would comment, "Ha ha ha ha! You must actually be joking," because like the contact is a joke. Like he's playing defense. It's not even like he already gotten called. What did you guys think about the closeout foul?
Oh, so DeRozan, that's the one where it was more in the corner, and DeRozan, his momentum of shooting up, he doesn't go up and down, he goes out.
Okay.
His leg didn't kick out, but you're right. That was.
It kind of does. He took a three, and his foot ends up like a foot inside of the 3-point line.
His shift of his body it angles. It doesn't go up and down. But I'm not, again.
No, for sure.
It's like, as a defender, how the hell are you supposed to defend that when you're closing out?
Are you supposed to study people's closeouts? Are you supposed to be like, I know?
I said that last night. Yes.
It's the rule was not made for that.
That purpose,
play,
right? It's for getting, if you really close out and get into somebody and like prevent them from landing.
Zaza Pachulia, who did it to Kawhi Leonard. Like that's why it's like you're closing out because you're being a D.
Right.
Harrison Barnes was just trying to contest. And if that's what it's going to be in the NBA, like that's just tough. And I get it too. You want players to be able to land, but when you jump that far out, it's like as a defender,
how is that any
just
different
don't contest?
than kicking out sideways too? Because if someone kicks out sideways,
that's
that
not
drastically.
unnatural. I think the thing.
I hear you on that.
You know what I mean? Like,
for
was
sure.
DeRozan shot unnatural?
Right.
I would say probably not.
Yeah.
I haven't studied DeRozan's 3-point shot to know how he shoots all the time.
Fair.
Which, by the way, what the hell? Like DeRozan, who never shoots threes, is like, I'm going to shoot 6 tonight.
It's like Giannis hitting 2 the other night.
It's like Russell Westbrook hitting a few the other night.
It seems like every time he plays the Kings, Russell is able to hit threes. But my bigger point is Harrison didn't even close out that hard. Like Harrison on the final shot, after being called for that closeout, on the last shot attempt, he's pretty much allowing himself to get eaten by that screen, and he's just putting a hand up to contest, presumably doing exactly what they would have preferred him to do on that closeout that he got called on. So it's like, I don't know, just the level of inconsistency. And like, again, what is Harrison supposed to do in that situation? He's on the other side of the screen. He's really just putting his hand up, and he pulled back barely, like a half second too, not even a half second too late.
It was in the contact was so minimal.
Yeah.
That's disgusting, especially with how physical the game gets, especially underneath the basket.
Yeah.
Sabonis gets his ass kicked all the time, dude.
And what I was going to say about the touch, because I feel like we got your opinion, we got your opinion,
oh, here you go.
but we didn't hear from me. So thank you for giving me time and space.
I thought International Women's
Dude, you can't, like, people have to know your
I'm
personality.
joking.
I know. I think that all the
joking.
time. I'm like, people,
if they don't
people
know,
don't get him.
Like, I have to explain, he is a feminist, he is a male ally, so he's joking. I told Deuce this last night. I was like, it sucks, because if that happened for the Kings and roles were reversed, I'd be like, well, it's deemed a foul. He touched him on the elbow. He grazed him. He tickled his elbow. It's deemed a foul. I'll take it. Like,
there was
whatever.
definitely a play this year though that happened where the Kings got a favorable call, and I'm like,
we have and you even said it last night that the Bulls announcer was like,
but even the Bulls announcer last night is like, oh, this is probably going to get overturned.
Really?
Yeah. He goes, oh, this is going to be a tough one. It's like, yes. Yes, because everyone sees it. It's not a Kings color thing.
Yeah.
All right, I may want the Kings to do well.
I know.
I am not blind to my Kings fandom does not overtake my senses with this
and
stuff.
I'm not saying that. I was just saying, like, we always go with, like, so many times when a guy does something late in a game and it's a Kings player and everyone around the league goes, well, that's deemed a foul in this league. And I look at that one, I go, well, that's deemed a foul in this league because he grazed his elbow. But at the same time, as we go into the postseason, things are going to be different. It's a whole different game. Guys are a little bit more physical, but if that crap is called for the Sacramento Kings, I will get Zach Zarba. I will get him. I will get you.
If that were called in the playoffs, that would be insane. I mean, especially just with how physical you're supposed to be allowed to be in the postseason. If that were to happen in the playoffs, I think there would be, like Deuce said earlier, that would be leading ESPN. That would be the talk of everybody right now. What wasn't a good look. It definitely was not a good look.
I would respect the league so much more if I opened up that last 2-minute report today and said
that you're not
incorrect call. I'm going to check it. I can't help it. They just said incorrect call. All right, coming up next, we'll talk more about this game. John Morant had some things to say. We got a lot to get to. Also, Kings and Nets tonight, back to back. If we're all tired, how do you think they feel after that game last night? Now they got to go play the Nets. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com.
Yes, 10. I will find you.
Uh-oh.
No.
You got to take a Duke?
Are you?
Is it poo-poo time?
I also can't hear you guys.
Oh.
That's a yes.
Oh.
Do you guys remember the Paul George 4-point play? I mentioned it earlier today, and I really specifically remember Paul George having a 4-point play in Golden One Center.
It was this year, right?
No, it was like 10 years ago.
With Indiana?
Yes, with Indiana.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find. Oh, yeah. Paul George, 4-point play versus Kings. 9 years ago.
Wow.
Let's see what's going on in the NCAA tournament. Oh, we got a close one right now. Maryland and West Virginia. 8 versus 9, a 3-point game with 3:17 to go in the game. Ooh, missed free throw too. Virginia. Okay, did you see the smack talk today?
Yeah, from that 16 seed? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
The coach of the 16 seed. What team was that again?
I looked it up. It's a school that I don't think anyone has ever heard of. It's like not Fairfield. Obviously.
They don't even play till tomorrow or something?
No, they don't play until tomorrow. It is Fairleigh Dickinson Knights.
Oh, yeah, we've heard of them.
Their logo legitimately looks like the Like Mike team. You know how they're the Knights? Yeah. It legitimately is the same colors and same logo.
And they what did the coach say? He was like,
I want Purdue to see this. Are the cameras on right now? I want Purdue to see this. I've watched a lot of Purdue. The more and more I watch them, I think we can take them.
Wow. He just
like this guy.
I hope they lose by 70. Furman and
what
Virginia.
Was Chris going off on? What were you going off on? I could hear you down the hall.
I don't know. You gotta find
out. Furman, the number 13 seed, they have a 2-point lead right now. The number 4 seed, Virginia.
Wow.
At Golden One Center, we got Missouri up on Utah State by 2 in the first half. Kansas up on Howard, 24-20. That's it right now.
Got any?
You saw that music in there, right?
March predictions?
No.
Madness predictions? Anything? I mean, I can't completely clueless.
Put all your money on Xavier.
You guys, I don't even know what teams are in.
And by money, I mean fake money. Don't put money on anything.
No.
Actually do that. Of course
well,
not.
a couple things. I literally would never bet or gamble. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, me neither.
Losing $20 to anything
hurts.
Oh my God.
Hurts.
I did it like in Tahoe on like a blackjack table. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
One time my cousin won
Wait,
big.
you're taking my money from me?
Yeah. I was like, I was just playing. I was joking. My cousin one time won big because my other cousin had his wedding in Reno and he won big. And so like he was giving us all $100 bills. And I was like, thank you. And he's like, no, you have to gamble it. And I said, no, I just want to keep this. And like I was making no money at the time, right? I just wanted to save it. So he's like, no, you got to do it. And I want to watch. I'm like, okay. So I go to like a roulette. Is that the one that
spins,
and lost it all.
On one roll?
No, but like a couple, but it was just like not.
That's
it wasn't
my problem.
Fun.
Is like it takes so long to win, but then you lose it in half.
That was bad etiquette on your cousin.
That's pretty messed
up. To force me to
give someone money. You can say like tell them what
like
to do.
You ask them like, oh, do you want to bet? I'll give you money to bet. I mean, that's what you say.
Yes, right.
His thing is like
give
you disgusting gamblers talking about etiquette is the most
What are you
hilarious thing.
talking about?
Don't call etiquette anything about etiquette when you are in a casino, smoking cigarettes, drinking. You don't know what time it is. You're throwing money away. Oh, but we must do this properly.
Yes.
Get out. No. You throw your money. You're being a
Oh, wow.
scumbag
Talk to
anyway.
I've never gambled at
Jason-
a table.
Jason is the best blackjack player I know, and you have to go with etiquette and like where you sit on the table.
Does he
also
chain smoke?
Wait,
it
Jason
also-
Ross?
Yeah, and it
Ross, yeah.
also determines like how you're supposed to play the hand.
Yeah, Jason
That's
has
what I hear.
a severe gambling addiction.
Oh, but
It's
it
not an addiction
works.
if you win.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's won penny slots. He's won big.
He's
on
won
things.
huge.
He has
before,
one
but
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Should we give him all of
No,
our
I
money
just,
and
you
he should
know,
gamble it?
Coming up in 2 months when he's living outside of this station.
Oh,
I mean,
oh my God, that is dark.
Quick commute.
That is dark.
Mr. Casino.
We just find him being in here every.
Yeah,
that's
he's really going to be promoting Capital Casino those days
oh
on North 16. Something.
God. Yeah, if people would just give me a whole bunch of money, I would
That'd be
gamble
so
it for
great.
it. Yeah.
If you're in the
Saw you
chat,
had
hit the
a,
thumbs up button,
had an ad the
please.
other day.
Wait, what?
So you had a nice little ad the other day on your Instagram page. You can
Oh my God! Yeah,
Yeah.
don't you love it? I'm an
Influencer?
influencer.
Officially?
Yeah, I know. Getting free
It's like,
laser.
wow.
Dude,
Must be nice. Must be nice.
You want free laser?
I'll take free anything.
Yeah. Same.
Sactown Sports.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings won last night, 117 to 114. De'Aaron Fox scored 32 points, shooting 12 of 17 from the floor and 4 of 6 from behind the arc, including the final 3 when Fox called game over with 0.7 seconds left. For more on the game, check out Kings insider Frankie Cardicelli's recap on SactownSports.com. Kings will have no time to rest. They're back in action tonight when they visit the Brooklyn Nets. You can listen to the game starting with coverage at 3. That's game night, and tip-off scheduled for 4:30 right here on Sactown Sports. Now it's time with more of Deuce and Mo and Chris Watkins.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, alongside Chris Watkins. His show airs Monday through Friday, 10 to 11, right here on Sactown Sports, SactownSports.com. What are you shaking your head at?
We're watching the Paul George clutch 4-point play against the Kings 9 years ago.
Yeah. Was it bad or something?
It was a tickle.
It was Derek Williams coming too far off
Oh my
just
God.
trying to run through a screen and
Tell me there
That's-
wasn't a good 2 weeks where you weren't like,
Derek Williams.
hey, man, I think I think they just got a steal here. Remember when he's
That
dunking
Clipper
on
game?
people?
Oh my God, that
Well, you remember he was like a high lottery pick.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Too.
well,
behind
you know
Kyrie.
what? A change of scenery. He's still young, dude. He's bringing a lift.
Where is he now?
I
I would say playing with Jimmer probably.
think he was playing overseas.
Smart. Because he was, he was, impressive athleticism,
Yeah.
right? His ability to
Crazy,
just
yeah.
throw it down at the
Yeah.
rim was like mind-blowing highlights.
Yeah, that was just about all he could do. He
Yes,
just was pretty much an
correct.
athlete. Couldn't shoot,
playing
couldn't
the
dribble,
EuroLeague.
couldn't pass.
He's playing the EuroLeague right now.
Okay,
so-
now.
Kings had a lot
Good
of
for
those
him.
guys who could do one thing, but also couldn't dribble, couldn't pass, probably couldn't shoot.
What
Buddy,
an athlete,
Buddy
though.
Hield at a time.
Just insane.
I feel like all of a sudden Buddy
Ben
can
McLemore
now,
was a guy who could
Yeah.
who could
Well-
sometimes shoot, couldn't dribble, couldn't
Right.
pass,
right.
couldn't defend.
And even with Buddy though, I think about how he now, it seems like, oh, he can find teammates. He
Yeah.
can do a little bit more. And maybe it's just a different coaching staff that brought
It's-
something
I
out
think
of
we
him
saw
too.
spurts of Buddy being able to play make, but it was always just like is this really the best option? Like,
Right.
should we
Yeah.
be asking him to do
What's he
this?
playing for right now? He's just
Nothing.
doing his thing. They're like tanking.
12
They
seed or
don't
something,
care.
Yeah.
But I also think he's been playing better basketball as an individual.
Raises value.
Yeah. He was grumpy here.
Oh,
Even
no-
though they gave him
oh,
everything.
I
I don't
don't-
want to talk about Buddy.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we're talking hoops, bro.
I know, but I just real fast on Derek Williams.
Oh,
What
sure.
about the famous quote from George Carl? Remember this?
The Coke machine. Come on, me and
Yeah.
Frankie never forget.
I've kind of forgot. What was it?
George Carl. You shouldn't be playing 20 minutes a game and not get a rebound. I mean, the Coke machine can get a rebound some nights. Sometimes we have guys play 20, 25 minutes and don't get a rebound, and I don't understand that.
Wow. The Coke machine. And see, again, that's like, even for George Carl during his time here, it's like he did not know how to coach this era of basketball or something, right? Like this is one of the greatest
Yeah.
coaches, and it was the way that he could not get stuff out of people, but at the same time, the culture was bad. He was limited.
part of that.
DeMarcus was and him didn't have a relationship.
Well, and here's
That
the
was
thing.
big thing to me.
Mike Brown can call his guys. Why does it work? He's built a culture
Yep.
on relationships.
Mhm.
George Karl, for
No
as
relationship.
as having a Hall of Fame coaching career like
Yeah.
he did,
Yeah.
his ego
Yeah,
Oh.
that
was
was the big thing.
huge. And he walked in like, I mean, he felt it. I mean, imagine like the Kings let go of Malone that year,
Mhm.
and everyone hire George Karl.
Yeah.
Like they almost threw a parade. We're like, George Karl's coming to Sacramento. It felt like surreal.
Yeah.
And he was just like,
That was such a
his head
Twitter
was just
hire.
blowing up.
Mhm.
He loved the Twitter love from
Oh yeah,
the King.
yeah,
Don't you have a good George Karl?
No, no, I do not.
I'm
No.
George Karl.
No,
I don't think
no,
there's any
yeah,
good George
no.
Karl.
I mean, and it's.
Oh,
I
I
gotta
gotta get.
raspy,
I
but
gotta.
it's also
I
not
gotta
funny to
get
make
charged
fun of.
George Karl. Okay, ready?
No,
Snake.
yeah.
Oh, good one, Chris.
Snake in the grass.
Yeah,
Ooh.
That was
All the
that was an
references.
iconic moment.
I'm just so glad that we don't have to. We could look back at those days, and it's a little less painful because of where the Kings are at right now. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yes.
oh, remember back then, and then you're like, yeah, remember last March?
Sometimes I even think back to the summer where it's like it felt like we were this close to bringing in Mark Jackson. And sometimes I think, where would this team be
I
if
would
Mark
love-
Jackson was our head coach?
Wouldn't you
Just-
love to know like a deep dive behind the scenes of like how close it was?
Yes.
Like,
And just
was
because
it
a lot
one
of it was-
person
yeah.
pushing?
That's what they made it seem like. They
I don't
definitely made
know.
it seem like Mark Jackson was Vivek's guy, and the only reason why he made it
Well,
that deep in the interview. Though
my
it's tough to
theory,
believe.
my theory is he was a Joe Dumars guy,
That's what I was just about to say.
and Joe,
Joe went bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
like Joe wanted more control, and
Everything
that.
I hear was not super positive about the off the floor stuff for Mark Jackson.
For
just like
he's-
his weird stuff with the Warriors, his Steph Curry seance thing.
Why
was
doesn't he have a job in the NBA right now? Why was
probably
everyone
because stories circulate?
Thank you. And everyone in the NBA and national media and more is like, he's being blackballed. The Kings have to hire him. Why do the Kings have to hire him? How about you
Right,
hire him?
Right.
How about you hire him?
LA Lakers.
Yeah.
Please.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks.
yeah, I mean, I just think with with Mark, he hasn't coached in the NBA in
Right.
10 years. The last time he coached in the NBA, his team won 50 plus games. There's a reason, and
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, I mean, I here's the thing that always I got stuck with during that time though was like I've read all the stories. I'm aware of everything. I'm also, I think you have to acknowledge Steph, Draymond, like all those guys have great things to say. Draymond's like, he
Mhm.
should be a coach in the NBA. The one thing though, if you really want to be a coach, if you really loved it and wanted to do it, go be an assistant
Yep.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Go rebuild it that way.
True.
It sucks sometimes when you feel like you're the guy, but like look at Dave Yeager right now.
Look at Luke Walton.
Yeager's trying to rebuild
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Brown did it for a while.
A
you know
long
what I mean?
time.
So
A long time.
like I just think if you really care and you want to prove people wrong,
right.
take a job as
Get
an
on a staff,
assistant,
yeah.
work your way up, and you never know, especially if you have that ability to build a relationship with players.
And you can just learn so much more, right? Like that's the other thing.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
your ego isn't getting in the way and you understand, okay, this is a different era of basketball. I have to learn again how to connect, how to
Right.
coach at this
Huge.
level.
Mike Brown talks about that all the time. He's like, yesterday Malik mentioned that, I think Chris Biederman asked him why they've been so successful on the road. And he was like, well, because we land and we immediately practice right after. And then he asked Mike Brown about it. And Mike was like, that's actually something I got from Steve Kerr was, yeah, you land and, especially for longer flights, you need to get the cobwebs out. It's just good to land and then break a sweat. And so it's something like that where it's really, really small, but it's led to some success here is just because he spent time in a winning organization, just learning and picking up little things that not everyone, you're not going to have all the ideas.
Yeah,
sometimes you got to learn from others.
And that's what's been amazing about the Kings' best road record in the Western Conference. And doing things a little differently, and it's paying off. Although it's kind of weird. I wonder if the Warriors keep that same routine because they're 7-27
clearly
on the
not,
road
right.
after last night.
Right.
But it's what the Kings are doing right now is just so fun to see.
I
Yeah.
And they're
Love
getting
it.
some love from
Mhm.
the NBA media now.
Every
I think
day.
Yep.
Fans
Every
are
day,
digging.
Yeah.
I think if your team sucks, or if you like are an Eastern Conference fan, like you're a fan of like the Knicks or something, you're like,
Right.
I want the Kings to do well.
Sure. We
And
haven't
that's
hurt
cool.
anybody in the past 16 years. So yeah,
No.
no one should have bad
No.
blood with us or anything like that. Why not? Why not
Dude,
just root for us?
It's a likable team. They're playing well. Fox, man, is just what he's doing post All-Star break. The numbers, we're going to talk about him coming up next
Crazy.
because it's pretty wild. It's Deuce and Mo alongside Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com.
Oh my.
I heard Chris say the other day that we have to get 42 wins in order to actually celebrate being over 500.
Whatever.
Oh my
I don't know.
God.
They're
No,
at
no, no.
500.
Yeah.
I don't
To be
care.
considered a winning team.
Yeah.
Winning team. Gotcha.
And Rami said the same thing, and we're like, you got, but
So,
that's
You don't, because guess what? They're well over 500 right now. So
They
they're
are.
a winning team.
Yes.
They've clinched a winning season.
Yes.
Yeah.
oh my god.
They,
you
no,
said
they
that?
have not clinched a
They
winning
have.
season.
They're-
If they lose the rest of their games,
Are they losing the rest of their games?
No.
They've
So they haven't
They've
clinched.
it.
Deuce is like mad about it.
Jason Ross also says 500 isn't a winning record.
Jason Ross also, remember, he's sleeping here now for a living. So
He's also this terrible person that we made up.
Yeah.
he's like the best human in the world. And we're just crapping on him.
Oh, we got some Marchness going on right
We
now.
do.
Oh,
It's 66-65. Maryland on top. They just score, or West Virginia just scored a cut to 1 with 8.4 to go.
The other game as well.
Furman, Virginia playing a close one. Virginia up 164-63 with 90 seconds to go. What's Furman's mascot?
Jason told me it's the Paladins.
What's that?
I think it's a sea creature of some sort.
really?
Whoa.
I think it's like a mermaid.
Oh, it's like, a
merman.
merman. It's kind of a cool like.
Mer person.
No, it
person.
doesn't look like
Oh,
it.
it's
Looks-
like
Oh
a
my
knight?
gosh. It is a knight. Wow. Okay. Well, shows when I
unless
know.
I spelled it wrong.
What is it called?
No, a
again?
paladin.
Paladin.
Any of the 12 peers of Charlemagne's court.
Is that what a paladin is?
That's what it says
That's
here.
a Dungeons and Dragons class, according to Spectre.
Oh. Did you guys see Mike Brown talking about
The Paladins,
Dungeons
also
and
called the
Dragons.
12 peers, are 12 legendary knights, the
Yeah, he
foremost
talked about
members
Dungeons
of
and
Charlemagne's
Dragons, yeah.
court in the 8th century.
Charlemagne the God? Shout out.
Wait, so Deuce knows this, but I have a large family because my mom has like 5 sisters, so there's
I
a lot
know
of
how that
cousins.
goes.
Yeah,
Mexican
and
family.
we'd play,
Oh, yeah.
but we had
Massive.
we'd play Star Wars role playing games,
Sure.
like where you have like your whole sheet and you
Yeah.
roll for
it's like-
dexterity.
It
and
is
like,
Dungeons and Dragons, just Star Wars.
Yeah,
edition. Yeah.
yeah.
My girlfriend plays Dungeons and Dragons with
It's
her
so
work group. She sounds like a blast. That's
It's-
not for me. I don't
Your
think.
brain just
Just
creates.
creative juice. Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
so
that's
nerdy.
That's bad.
Oh, Furman. A bad turnover. A bad turnover. Down
This is my
3.
favorite part of March is everyone who's all of a sudden
Oh.
Wait,
the
go to the
biggest
other game.
Maryland fans in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like,
Yes.
oh,
Did they wait too long to foul there? 66-65. Maryland with a 1-point lead. Virginia tried the trap.
Looks
Deuce
like-
Billis.
Deuce Billis.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
That official.
Bob
Bob
Huggins.
Huggy Bear.
Just looks like such a nice guy, huh?
No.
I know. It's a joke.
I love how college basketball coaches just like are with their team. What Jim Boeheim just retired. He's been there for like 40 years or something.
47 seasons.
It's like Bob Huggins has
And
been
you know-
in Virginia for 15, 20 years.
47 years. Let's be honest.
How much do you mail it in? Yeah. At what
He's
point
mailed
is it
in the
like
last
your
15,
assistants
20.
are just, yeah.
Oh,
Because
and
that's what I hear with Coach K was like, he hasn't coached in like
Well,
5-10 years.
let's be honest, even with those two guys though, anything they want to do within those schools though now,
Yeah.
like and still be part of the program in one
Yeah,
way or another
right,
and get paid. Like
Right.
they just it's like it's almost like what is that military where you get paid for the rest of your life or
Yes,
something? Like
yeah.
that is like what they're doing. You're
Right.
just gonna get paid
Yeah,
forever.
you get legacy money until you die.
Yeah.
Right.
Be a college coach,
Yeah.
but a legendary one.
I can't. They let that much time go off the clock. All right, Furman down 3 still. Oh my God, did they miss free throws?
How bad is this
Oh,
three?
it's the
I knew. I was like, I
three!
know he's
No.
going to take the worst 3 possible.
Timeout. They called the
Yeah,
timeout before the
I
shot.
did. sometimes college athletes are hilarious. Just like this is my moment right now time.
The immature decision making.
Yes.
Give me upsets all the time. That's all I want.
Yeah.
That coach looks young. That
Young-
coaching
that's a young
staff.
Yeah. Is this for the Paladins? Must be. Yes, it is. Wow. The Paladins. Those good old pals.
Oh, the Paladins.
Oh, here we go. Oh, almost had a March moment. Maryland wins. Shout out Kevin Herter.
Excuse me.
Shout out Kevin Herter.
Kevin Herter.
Well done.
That boy's stupid.
I love
That
that
boy Kev going stupid.
one coach was wearing the suit and tie and the other, no. Zip up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Oh, what a day. What a day. Kings beat the Bulls last night behind De'Aaron Fox's game-winning three-pointer with 7/10 of a second to go. They play the Nets tonight. Can they keep it rolling? They're 9-2 since the break. Also, March Madness is here.
Da 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 da.
Why'd you start the song over?
Oh.
Like I was
Yeah, you were
doing
at
the
the
song
end.
and you
Sorry,
went back.
I didn't know
and
which
that's
part.
I was like, I thought you were doing the right. I was like, is that the end?
Yeah, I was doing
didn't
the end and then she
recognize
started
that.
it all over.
Where did you want her to go with
And
that?
are
I
you
didn't want
mad?
her- Yeah, yeah, I'm mad. We're watching it right now. Furman
Here we
trying to
go.
go for the tie.
Oh
Was
my
it a long
gosh.
two?
With 20 seconds left too.
That was
Why?
That's why.
Ugly
That's why
look.
you're Furman. That's why you're the number
That's interesting.
13 seed. Trash.
maybe coach wanted a quick
I guess
look.
you can, maybe get the 1 for 1.
Yeah.
I think in college, if you miss the first, it's a live
Awful.
ball. So
Awful.
maybe you're banking on college kids missing free throws, which is always
Yeah.
a good bet.
Yeah.
That was bad.
That was not great.
That was
That
really
was not
bad.
great.
Kings looking at De'Aaron Fox since the
That's more
All-Star-
contact
He
than we
was
saw
grazed.
last. More contact
was
than we saw last
grazed.
night. Sorry, dude. Sorry
Dude,
to cut off
He was
your.
grazed.
Oh,
he was more
totally.
than grazed.
There was an arm that
was
went into his
mirrored.
arm. Sorry,
Okay.
Deuce. We were
No
Yeah.
one watching, no one listening has any idea what we're talking
No,
about.
not at
all. I
Okay,
know.
Okay.
We're
Great
having
radio.
fun.
That was
Okay.
great radio.
Okay, don't relax, Morgan. We're having fun. We're having fun. Cool.
Fun
Yeah,
over
let's
content.
include everybody on this.
I'm the punching bag today.
Dude. They're down 4. This game's over. Oh, cool dunk. Oh,
Oh
get
my
your
God.
S out. Nice block by by Virginia. That was
They're calling a foul.
clean. If I was the official, I want to get to De'Aaron Fox since the All-Star break. 9 games he has played since the All-Star break. The Kings are 7-2 during that stretch. De'Aaron Fox is averaging 30 points a game. Morgan, 56% shooting, 38% from 3. Just under 70% from the line. That's down. He's also averaging 6 assists and 2.2 steals a game.
Swiper.
He is on another level. And Will Z had a stat last night talking about what he's doing, and even for Kings history. He said De'Aaron Fox is now only 1 game behind Chris Webber for most 30-point games in Kings history. And
Wow.
I know. And you look at the name above him, who's on that list. DeMarcus Cousins is at second. Mitch Richmond is at the number 1 spot.
Oh my God! We turned away, and the wildness just happened in March Madness. Are you kidding
This
me?
is March.
I can't have fun. Come on, Deuce. This is fun.
Yeah, but you gotta tell what's happening.
Tell them.
Oh
I was
my
talking.
God!
Virginia just tried to throw a full-length pass to try and clear it out with about 5 seconds left. Furman
And they were up
intercepted the
2.
pass.
It was 66 or 67, 65. They
Oh.
just throw it up in the air.
Just throws it up in the air.
It's
Furman
turned
gets
over. And a long 3. Bang! With 2.2 to go.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Why would you throw that?
Did you see Dallas did the same kind of thing last night to get into overtime where
No.
yeah, they inbounded from the sideline
Oh
and
my
just
God.
threw it out of bounds. And
That is
went to
insane.
overtime. That is crazy.
There's a timeout on the floor. Oh
This
my God,
is
I love it.
March.
Yeah,
I
so
love it.
Furman is up 1 right now with
Yeah.
2.2 to go. The number
Oof.
13 seed trying to pull off one of the most improbable finishes. I mean, you do not. This is why March Madness is amazing. You see something crazy like this, you're like,
Yep.
how? How does this happen? You save it for this time in
Right.
March?
Yeah.
You must be sick.
It does.
right
It
now.
always feels like it too. Like if this game were to happen in the regular season, Virginia probably beats them by 20 for whatever reason. But since it happens in March, since it happens in the tournament, for whatever reason, it just gives these lower seeds a boost. And it's cliche and it's corny, but anything is possible.
Can I also say it is so fun seeing these crowd shots. The crowd shots, I think, just add so much more to the story, the drama.
Is she speaking in tongues?
Definitely. She was definitely chanting.
There was some sort of prayer there. Yes.
This guy is like, his life. He's got his entire life savings on this game.
Call this for us. Call this.
I don't know the players, but it's 2.4 in the cloud.
I don't know how
with
quite
a 1
legal
point
this
game.
is.
Hold on.
Oh my God! For the win.
Oh.
No good. And Furman, the number 13 seed, pulls off the upset.
I had that in one of my brackets. One of them.
68-67. Furman, number 13 seed, beats number 4 Virginia in Orlando. Wow.
That was a great call.
That was fun.
Insane.
We thought that one was over. We started talking De'Aaron Fox, but Furman said, shut up. I got this.
Insane. I see a couple people in the YouTube chat going, I don't like college basketball. Get back to talking about the Kings. Bro, we're talking about the Kings a lot.
Yeah.
We talk about the Kings
2.5 hours today.
I promise you, but March Madness is going on. I'm not Mr. College Hoops guy.
I don't even
I'm not a bracketologist,
hoops.
but this time of year, just what if you like basketball, you like upsets. It was crazy.
It's this time of year, and then usually it's the summertime because obviously where the Kings usually are in the standings and or where they land in the lottery, that I even give a damn about college basketball.
Right.
I absolutely hate this tournament.
Hey, Scooter.
I'm 0 for 2 right now.
It's all over. Hey, Scooter 916. If it's not fun for the rest of us, then go away. Go find something else to watch. I don't care. You're in the chat, hang out. We're hanging out, having fun. We talk Kings 97% of the time.
Me too.
We could spend 2.5 minutes going, oh, can you believe what just happened? We hit you on Sports Center today. It's going to be that. You go on social media. It's going to be that. If you don't like it, go somewhere else.
Why are you so salty today?
No.
You're defending Scooter?
No,
You're defending Scooter?
I think Scooter is an ass.
Thank you.
And I hate him.
Wow.
Scooter,
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Golly, man.
Just did not want to get in trouble.
Scooter.
You weren't a liar.
And here's the other thing I'm going to tell you, because he's going to keep going here. And then talk about the Niners, talk about the Jaws situation, talk about anything else. Okay, dude, you know what? Totally. I could tell you're a great producer. What shows do you produce?
This one, apparently.
Do you want to come in studio and let's talk? Grab a mic and let's have a conversation because you couldn't hang for 2 minutes. All right?
Hey, why?
No, I'm not. Don't tell me what we should be doing.
But why do you care?
Because I'm tired today.
Yeah.
Read the room, dude.
I mean, God. Hey, can you believe the Niners got Farrell? Can he turn his career around here in San Francisco?
One of my favorite things about sports radio is, and I do love this because even Martin goes, talk about anything as long as it's not baseball. Senior and Formo. There are 3 hours. Plenty of time to talk.
Yeah.
I love it. Scooter says, I'd love to talk to you face to face.
Yeah, I know. You probably have great takes. Can't wait. Chris, I hope you had fun with us this hour. What a roller coaster ride it was.
An absolute blast. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Yes. Chris is on Monday through Friday, 10 to 11 right here on Sactown Sports 1140. Then with us in the first hour. Coming up next, we can talk more about the Kings. We have to talk about what John Morant said.
Yeah.
And a couple of shady things that the Memphis Grizzlies did last night that we have to discuss. That's straight ahead. Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Let's just say they like nuts.
Oh, Scooter, I know it's not a threat,
kind
dude. I just think it's so when you just come in here and you're just like, talk about this, talk about that. It's like, dude, how about we do this? We just talk about what we want to talk about. Like, we're going to talk about all the big stories. Are we missing something with the Kings? Like, we talk about it all the time.
Which, by the way, we're still going to break down more and more of that game.
There's 2 more hours of this.
That's what I was going to say. It's a long form
bro.
conversation in this format.
You know, we're a little late on it, but I think this would be a good time.
Ooh, facts.
Oh, good job.
Facts.
Okay.
Damn, could have used this before the last break.
Chris, thank you for staying with us for this.
Gotcha.
Christopher Laud, welcome, everyone, to a Thursday edition of Mo's Minute. Now,
Scooter is dead.
Okay.
Officially.
Nope. We are going to take a breath, whether we want to or not. And we're going to do it in through the nose and out through the mouth on 3. Ready? 1, 2.
I feel like Deuce actually holds his breath.
I think Deuce is about to
He's
pass
like, I'm
out.
actually going to anti-breathe.
Well, that was a big breath Mo's minute. For some reason, they've gotten a little bit more salty and less calming. Don't worry, we'll do another one later in the show. Thank you, everybody.
Well, how about we do that for a full segment? I'm sure
Honestly.
Scooter would love that.
Oh my God, Scooter would die. He would die.
Andy, just let us comment about what we want to comment about. You're directing a comment at me, dude. Andy, why are you getting in on this? This is not for you to talk to me about. So you're chatting with me, and now I'm responding to you. You know I'm grumpy today. Just let me be grumpy and let me go at Scooter, okay? If you don't like college basketball, we're not talking college basketball all day. We're not. I don't know anything about college basketball. I can't name you one player that was playing in the game we just watched.
No.
I
It was
can't
an
believe
upset.
this even bothered you.
It's just, dude.
like it doesn't even faze me. I don't care.
I
That's
just
fine.
ignore it, but
Yeah.
It's fine, but
I
I
get
try
why
to
it
interact.
upsets,
It's just like,
but
dude, we're just
I
talking.
personally
It's
just ignore it.
You know what it is? It's a wet blanket. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like we're having fun going, oh my
Yeah.
God, and can you talk about the Kings? Oh, I'm sorry. Us three were just having fun for a second.
I'm pretty sure we actually had King scheduled to talk that segment. We just were having so much fun
Mhm.
that we just kind of, we're vibing.
I personally would rather have genuine, fun, organic conversation
Much rather.
than forced conversation. So that's why I just don't care what other people think, because I think for the most part, the majority of people that listen to our shows.
Yeah, I just and Scooter, I've seen you around, so I understand if you feel like I'm being harsh today, and probably am, but it's just the timing was awful. When you're having a good time and someone
Yeah.
come in and go, yeah, it's time to go, time to wrap up. You're like, oh, get out! And no, I'm not above you.
Oh God,
This
what?
is enough talk about Scooter, Deuce. So can you move it along?
That's funny.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Good bet.
Good
Chop,
bit,
chop.
Chris.
Yeah. Oh, here's the coach that was saying-
Ooh,
Oh no, that's Firms. I'm sorry. That's
Furman's coach.
I'm sorry. I thought that was the
don't
Can't
talk
talk
too
about it.
long
coach that-
about him.
Sorry,
though, 'cause
I know. I
Scooter
forgot.
might
I'm so
get
sorry.
angry.
I'm so sorry. It is
Sorry.
very like internet commenter to be like, why are you mad at something that I commented at you? Like I'm just supposed to say it, and then it's just supposed to go out there. You're not actually supposed to read it, internalize it, ingest it, and feel something. No, that's not what I was trying to do. I was just trying to
I was just trying to express myself
Yeah.
by directing it at you
Yes.
and putting you down
I
while
just feel
you're
like,
having
I
fun.
mean, obviously people just don't think about like, yeah, you're gonna see it, and like,
No.
regardless of whether you address it or not, like it's gonna.
Which, by the way, my favorite part about this so far, majority of people within these communities that we have platforms on, amazing. Amazing. The only people that are ever usually bad, one, I don't know why Scooter's being like that, but two,
Scooter's
I was like, I
fine,
feel like
dude.
Scooter's normally in the
Yeah.
chat.
usually, yeah,
Normally
it's just, it is weird. But then any other ones are just like the ones that like will comment on Twitter, but don't follow you.
Yeah.
Instant mute.
Yeah.
Instant mute.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. It's just like, you're
Going
not
back and
good.
forth is not
No,
it.
no. You okay?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. I mean, I can tell he's tired.
Dude, it's just like, oh. PK Toads, I always acknowledge you, even though you say don't. Stop it.
5 seconds.
Chris, thank you. You're the
You're
best.
welcome.
Sactown Sports.
I'm Chris Verlade with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings won last night, 117 to 114. De'Aaron Fox scored 32 points, shooting 12 of 17 from the floor and 4 of 6 from behind the arc, including the final 3 when Fox called game over with 0.7 seconds left. For more on the game, check out Kings insider Frankie Cardicelli's recap on SactownSports.com. Kings will have no time to rest. They're back in action tonight when they visit the Brooklyn Nets. You can listen to the game with coverage starting at 3 and tip-off scheduled at 4:30 right here on Sactown Sports. And now, time with more of Deuce and Mo.
live and local.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Watch the show now on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 or listen for free on the Sactown Sports app.
Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan. It's Deuce Mo on Sactown Sports 1140, SactownSports.com. At 1 o'clock, our buddy Sean Cunningham is going to be on the show. He's live at Golden One Center today watching the NCAA tournament, first round at Golden One Center. We do need to pepper Sean a little bit, Morgan.
About what?
How he's not sure he would vote for Mike Brown for Coach of the Year.
Is he still feeling that?
He was making a serious case to me because I brought this up to him at the game the other night before the game for Michael Malone.
Oh, we're gonna pepper the S out of Sean.
Do you have
Cunningham.
a recording of Sean talking about why Mike Brown doesn't deserve the Coach of the Year?
I think you do. I don't.
Oh, here it is. Got it. Oh, I just don't think that Mike Brown's that good. Oh, I think Mike Malone's doing a better job this season.
I'm so glad you record your
Yeah,
conversations.
no, that was good. That was really good. So we'll talk to Sean about that. Of course, it's Happy 316
I like
Day.
how I said that. Like, I don't want to be mean to my friends, and then I just do that impression of Sean.
It's how he would sound.
Thank you.
The Kings have 41 wins.
Yes, they do.
The most road wins in the Western Conference after last night. Here's a question for the YouTube chat and for the people listening on the radio. You can hit us up 339-1140, 1-800-922-1140. Has Fox injected himself into the MVP conversation? The Clutch Award, you can go ahead. That league can announce it today.
Yeah.
He has 180 clutch points. We know, like, that's what he's done in the fourth quarter is absurd. He had 15 points in the fourth quarter last night against Chicago. Is he in that MVP like, not going to win it, but in the top 5 for you now? Who's in your 5?
It's hard to be like, yeah, De'Aaron Fox is in the top 5. Why? I think some people just have a hard time looking at the Sacramento Kings and giving any of the players the respect that they truly deserve. But like we were talking about with Chris Watkins, none of this is a fluke. So give them the respect and the love that they do deserve. And that means even validating it with certain awards or putting them in certain conversations. And he has the criteria of what you would want in a most valuable player of your team. Now, he's not the best of the best in this league when you look at Giannis, when you look at Jokic, when you look at Embiid. But what he's been doing all season long, absolutely, Deuce, deserves even that bottom tier of that MVP conversation. I absolutely think so. I don't think that's being a homer. I don't think that's being we watch him every single game too. So I think like having watched him and watching other really great players in this league, yeah, he's there. He deserves it. He took a big leap this year.
We have a random note about a former King that just came in, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. Bogdan Bogdanovic is signing an extension to stay with the Hawks. He gets a 4-year, $68 million contract extension, which surprises me a bit. I'm a big Bogey guy, and he had a player option going into next year, but he has, struggled to stay healthy at times for them. He's 30 years old right now. This season for Atlanta,
43 games.
So yeah, he stayed a little healthier this year, which is better, of course. But still, he hasn't played a ton, right? The year before that, 63. Before that, 44.
Yep.
The most games he's ever played was 78. His rookie year in Sacramento. It's a 4-year extension. Wow.
Hawks are that front office is very interesting, right? I feel like there's a lot of friendships, there's a lot of relationships there, guys just trying to figure out things on the fly. And I don't want to even say, I think that's wrong to say amateur, because I think you have to learn sometimes and roll with the punches. But after such an awful year or underwhelming year for the Hawks, and you got Trae Young on your squad and everything that went down with your coach, it's interesting that they would just continue with this same type of roster. John Collins always on the trade block, but never traded.
Just weird. Just interesting.
Yeah.
To get back to the Fox stuff in the YouTube chat, not KJJK says Fox is in the conversation the same way Booker has been the last few years. Great player and a good team, but ultimately 5 to 6 better options for MVP. Yeah, for me, I think I'm leaning toward Giannis right now. Not that we even have a vote, but
Yeah.
in our fantasy world where we just talk about these things,
Giannis.
it's such a close race, though. Like, let's not lose sight of the fact that Embiid has been a monster this year. I feel like Jokic, it's crazy. Maybe it's crazy to say this, but has he played himself out of the conversation now with other guys playing so well and his team kind of dipping here late in the season?
You know, it's the time of the year when the MVP conversation is so close, you almost have to play perfectly if you don't want to end up out of the conversation. And when your team starts to trail off and you in your individual play, even if it's someone sticks to the narrative of the other night of him looking like he wasn't even trying to play defense, that narrative sticks with voters that are trying to watch every single thing that goes on in the league. You know, it's they might still be watching, but they're watching so much basketball and consuming so much basketball and seeing who they want to vote for that could stick in their mind.
Muhammad in the YouTube chat says the way Fox made that shot last night, he was so calm and casual with it, like he knew what was going on. Superstar in the making. Yeah, I think that's the thing that just jumps out to me is just in these late game situations, he is so calm.
Wait, who?
De'Aaron.
Yes. Oh my God.
And
oh my God.
Longtime Kings fans remember Mike Bibby hitting so many big shots in Sacramento and very clutch, but Fox's ability just to take over. I mean, he hit a couple of big shots in the final minute of that game, right? He's playing good defense.
Yeah.
And his jump has just been there. I mean, I think if anything, we've been hard on him over the years. One, the winning, but defensively, that's taken a serious jump this year. And especially post All-Star break, I'm like, oh, this guy wants it. He has a level of seriousness about him right now and focus that we have never seen from De'Aaron Fox. And now you couple that with his ability on the court to get the shots he wants, the confidence he has shooting the rock in the mid-range, taking that three. Very impressive. And I think the Kings did benefit last night. You know, Alex Caruso, if he's playing that game, he's probably the one checking De'Aaron Fox. With that said, De'Aaron can get that shot. And he knocked it in. It was special.
It doesn't matter who it's on, right? It doesn't. I mean, you've seen him do it over long arms, lengthy teams. I mean, bigs in the middle. Obviously, you look back at that Milwaukee game and he settled for three a lot in the beginning of the game and started making adjustments. Was like, I got to find a different way to score. I think it's pretty special when you have a player that can get to any spot on the floor and has the ability to make that shot, whether it's off the glass, whether it's with the spin, whether it's off the dribble. We look at Devin Booker in his game as a point guard as super special, right? His footwork, his confidence. There's so much to it that just puts him in a different tier. De'Aaron Fox, this season, Deuce, one season of this, is putting himself in a different tier. He is. Like, it's so consistent is the thing.
Well, Fox and Domas Sabonis were on with Shams. He does the stuff in Chicago. They were in studio with him before the game, and they were talking about how clutch De'Aaron Fox is.
Mr. Clutch. In the fourth quarter, I always tell everyone we're not here where we are without him. There's been countless games, every game where he just takes over in the fourth. Either we can't manage to do a full game how we want, and in the fourth quarter, if the game's always tied, he takes over. 6 minutes left, 8 minutes less. He just does his thing, makes everyone better. His confidence kind of rubs off on all of us, and it gives it to us. So I just feel like at the end of those games, we just all feel a lot more calm and. Like, we're not worried. Like, we're down 4 or something with like a minute and a half left. We're like, we still got this. Like, we're going to get a stop. We're going to score for sure. And then give the ball to him and he does the rest.
Deuce, in difficult situations, even in life, when someone in that situation is staying calm.
Like me at the end of last hour.
No.
When I got mad.
Deuce, you don't stay calm in any situation. A dog could be throwing up and you're like, oh, I've seen you stay calm. Okay. Oh my God. No.
You wanna
Chris,
go
help me.
there?
No. Okay. I've seen you
Bad example.
Okay, correct.
Yeah.
I've seen you stay calm in situations. But when you're in a situation and there's always that person that you can depend on, like, I feel like, yeah, no, not that person. Anyway, I was trying to think if there's anyone in my life that is really good about that. No. But when you do have that person in a group, it's incredible how that can guide you and lead you to stay composed, stay calm, and execute whatever you need to execute in those high stressful situations. De'Aaron Fox is doing that with this team, but doesn't even show a sign of fear or stress or like he's even scared for a moment.
Mike Brown was asked about Fox and how clutch he is.
When I took the job, I didn't know how he would be consistently in the clutch. I knew he was fast. I knew he had a lot of ability to do a lot of different things. But his presence, his calmness, or demeanor, however you want to call it, has just been fantastic down the stretch of games, especially one possession games. And so for him to walk into that three, again, not to disrespect anybody, but when he shot it, I just felt it was going in, and that has nothing to do with me because we didn't do anything but tell everybody to get the heck out the way. That's just the confidence that he exudes during that time in the game, and he's shown play after play after play that he can go get it done.
And when you have your coach, your leader, trust you. I mean, we were talking about all these old Sacramento Kings coaches to start the show, and it's finally someone that has there's guys that have mutual respect with one another, with this coaching staff, love, trust, all of the above. Mike Brown, the way that he has talked about De'Aaron Fox this season, it's real. It's not just pumping up his guy.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot to pump up there with Fox and Sabonis. I mean, he's really pushing the whole all NBA stuff with both of those guys, and they do deserve it. I mean, dude, you walk around this city, no matter where you go, you're seeing more and more King stuff. People are connected with it. It's an easy team to like. They play a fun style. Getting coffee today, people like the Beam.
I was going to say, Deuce, you haven't been able to go anywhere without someone saying something. People don't say something to me all the time.
Light the Beam is everywhere, and people are digging it right now. So it's definitely fun to see. We're going to be back in 60 seconds. We got to talk about Ja Morant. I mean, how fast did this change? He was in a counseling session. Then he's in Adam Silver's office. He's coming back, and then he did an interview with Jalen Rose. Plus, on the court, the Grizzlies do some embarrassing things last night. We'll talk about it coming up in 60 seconds on the radio side. We're always live at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Appreciate the kind words, Steve. Yeah. Morgan crushed that last night. Shut up and
light the beam. Oh, good harmony.
Absolutely hated it.
Oh, I love you. That means you love that.
I have not had that song not stuck in my head.
Dude, I was telling Deuce, because even that, or the original song, right? Shut Up and Dance With Me. It's a feel good, catchy song. Everyone feels good when you hear it. But right now, with the beam and what it's doing, put together with a very happy song, it makes sense. It was a live performance, so it wasn't my best vocals, but we'll deal. We'll deal.
And then, I haven't heard that song forever until Chris Jericho sang it on Masked Singer.
Wait, is that the one he sang?
Yeah.
Yes.
When he's like, shut up and dance with me.
And you knew it was him.
Immediately.
Deuce showed me your tweet of the mask. He goes, wait, what does this even mean? I go, oh, it's the Masked Singer. And he's like, he already forgot. Oh, thanks, Tina. Tina, I realized too, you sent us a super chat last night, and at first I didn't understand it. Afterward, she was referencing Chris when I said the upper cut yesterday. Yeah, but I didn't say cut.
You did not.
I accidentally said another word on air. I didn't mean to. It just was
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
So John Morant inching closer to his return, scheduled to return March 20th when the Grizzlies take on the Dallas Mavericks. And John Morant was on with Jalen Rose yesterday. Morgan Reagan sitting down with Jalen. And Jalen, I thought from the start, handled the whole John Morant thing
agreed.
great. Like he spoke for 3.5 minutes on, I think, was that NBA's one of the post-game shows on ESPN or whenever it was.
Yeah.
I thought he had some good things to say about John Morant. So I was eager to see how that went down. And Ja talked about his meeting with Adam Silver.
It was good. Pretty much, an open discussion. Obviously, he said things, I need to, be better at, but, more of just, showing his support towards me. And I accepted that. And, I also, sent my apologies, to everybody, the league, myself, my teammates, my family for, putting that negativity toward all of us with a, bad decision.
And I have not seen the full interview. I know some people are like, there wasn't much there. It's not like Jalen really went at him hard for anything.
No.
And I don't think, it wasn't like a 60 minutes sit down with John Morant, but then he was asked about what he's been doing the last 10 days.
Just learning, I can open up. I can express my feelings, and that it's, okay to be able to express your feelings. So, I was constantly, talking to therapists. I've been doing, Reiki treatment. I've been doing anxiety breathing, different stuff to, help me manage that and release, all that stuff from my body.
He's been doing a little Mo's Minute, huh?
Because all joking aside,
yeah,
what breathing can do
absolutely
in stressful moments is just incredible. And being able to find the power to train your brain and your body to get to those moments during stressful moments, that's great.
Here's the next line of questioning. He was asked, what were you thinking and whose gun were you holding?
For you at that moment, what were you thinking and whose gun were you holding?
I felt like, I was releasing stress, and I felt like it was healthy for me, and which it wasn't. And that caused me to do some things that, I shouldn't have. The gun wasn't mine. It's not who I am. I don't condone any type of violence, but I take, full responsibility, for my actions. And I can see the image, that I painted, over myself, with my recent mistakes. But, in the future, I'm going to show everybody who Ja really is.
The reality with this is all this stuff, it's all talk. And people will be critical of anything he says in an interview, whether it's hard hitting or not hard hitting.
Yep.
He just has to go out there and show it. His actions are going to tell a story.
Do you realize how lucky he is that he gets acceptance from the commissioner of the league? He gets a platform to immediately go on to tell his side of the story, or just put some words and quotes out there.
A friendly place to go tell his side of the story.
That's my point. And I'm not mad about it. I'm just, it is don't get it twisted. It is what it is. It's a soft place, softball questions, whatever getting thrown at him. But I'm also hoping that he sees that and goes, yeah, you don't get this again. This is your one time to make this mistake at 23 years old, and we'll all forget about it.
I just hope that he's reflected enough. I know he says the things, but that wasn't that long of counseling. And I hope this isn't just you did a little weekend binge of counseling and breathing. It's like going to the gym, right? It's like doing anything. You have to create a habit of just doing it, because if you don't continue to do it, you're just going to revert back to the previous mistakes. And you have to be careful with who you're hanging with too, because they can put you in a bad spot. You have to hang around the right people.
Yeah.
You can't be putting yourself in tough situations. I mean, Sam Amick today had something in The Athletic talking about how when they were in Miami, the Grizzlies started changing travel plans where they would leave immediately after the game because they didn't want Ja going out.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's just, they've tried to restructure things. All right, let's not put him in a position to go out and have a good time all the time in the middle of a season. So he's just got to clean it up, and hopefully this is a wake-up call. And we can all judge, oh, was it enough, or was this a softball interview? All fair points.
Yeah.
Now he's just got to prove that
Actions.
he's learning. He's going to continue to work on it. Show it. Show it.
Yep. And I think, like he'll feel the wave. I mean, maybe feel the wave of embarrassment, when he's back out there on the big platform. That's going to be the storyline. People are going to be talking about it. But like you said, how can you play through it? And he did try painting this image like, I'm hard. I got a gun. And if that's not who you are, then don't act like that's who you like. Don't be fake. Don't be a fraud.
Well, and he also says he realizes, I could lose everything.
In the past, we didn't know what was at stake. And now, finally me having that time to, realize everything, have that time alone. I realize that now. I realize, what I have to lose. I can't wait to be back out there on the floor now, knowing what my punishment is. And, I accept that. And, I feel like I deserve, that punishment for, my mistakes and, what I did. But when I get back out there, I'm going to be ready to go and ready, push for a ring.
I believe in all second chances. It's not like he did anything illegal, nothing. He didn't get in trouble with the city of Denver or anything.
Yeah, but that's just the one incident, right?
Yeah.
There's still that incident with the Pacers game.
The 17-year-old.
The 17-year-old that allegedly he punched or whatever. So there's all these. You just hope he's going in the right direction. That's all there is to it. That's what you want. I think anyone rooting against John Morant, like you're being a hater. Like just root for this guy to realize, oh, I'm young. I did some dumb things. I understand what I have to lose here.
Yeah.
And I need to work on myself, and we can all work on ourselves.
Yes.
I think that's true too, but at the same time, we don't have to give him the benefit of the doubt anymore.
What do you mean?
Like if something else comes up, we can't be like, oh man, this must be a miscommunication.
That's what we're saying.
Oh,
we're
no,
saying like, you got your second
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't just brush this stuff aside
No.
and go, oh, okay, it's fine. It's like, no, it's not okay. But yes, we're willing to work with you as long as you're working on yourself.
the only other thing that came to my mind, you guys, was thinking about, and this is obviously completely different situations, but I think about Draymond Green and the way that he, like the league and his PR team tried spinning that he's a man of the people. He loves his children. He went on his podcast, or a video was done of him immediately after, just talking about how much
After
he
the
loves
Jordan Poole thing, is that what you're talking
yes,
about?
after he punched Jordan Poole in the face. And like I said, completely different situations. But it is funny when you see people like try to just do this quick little spin job of like, okay, or, repair. Let's repair this quick before it gets out of hand. And it's funny, we're not talking a whole bunch about Draymond being this bad guy that punches all of his teammates all the time. Like it was patched up, done. John Morant, it's going to be the same thing until, like Chris said, unless something else happens.
Well, if they keep losing,
And
then the spotlight's going to be on them even more. And
True.
dude, what they did last night, I know we got a break. We can move it to the other side too. Dylan Brooks fell into the crowd a little bit and went up against a camera guy, pushes him.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, it was not
Yeah.
good. He pushes him and then continues on. That was number one. Then number two, Desmond Bain.
Oh,
with
I
the
saw
cup
that.
check to Kevin Love. And there's no way you can tell me that was not intentional.
Well, he got ejected.
These guys are dirty, man. And Dylan Brooks, you're a clown.
Ooh,
Get out
you
of-
tell him.
No, get out of the league.
Damn.
No, what does he add to one? He's not that good of a player. Two, this is a theme here. He does it to players on the court. Donovan Mitchell. He did it during the playoffs. We've seen it time and time again. And then to a camera guy, you're going to shove a camera guy who, by the way, you fell on.
That's weird.
He didn't do anything to you.
That's saying
And you
I'm
push
above you.
A guy who is holding a heavy ass camera on his sitting down,
Mhm.
and you push him back. What are you doing?
I'm gonna watch that at the break.
What are you doing?
That's
I'm so sick of the Memphis
I
Grizzlies.
know you
They're
are.
so tired. And some of the people started on social media were kind of comparing the Kings, the Grizzlies 2.0. No, they're not. They're not. Because they're not all of a sudden going to start pulling dirty stuff. They're not doing jaw jacking. They're out there playing basketball. Crazy.
Yep. I'm gonna watch it at the break.
Well, we'll talk more about all this stuff coming up. Look around the Western Conference too. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com.
Oh my
Yeah, is that bad?
God. Oh my God. Just what a bully.
Yeah, it's one of those things like I could see him running into. It's one of those things like you just try and hold up. Or if you fall into somebody, that's just something that happens. But he just pushed him.
Really
I
bad
like
look.
this angle. Oh. And then he looked back and down. I am appalled. Oh my God.
Pretty bad, huh?
Yeah. By the way, I just saw the picture of De'Aaron Fox with the popcorn. It's probably
Oh,
like
yeah.
husband of the year.
Yeah, his wife asked for popcorn. He brought like the biggest bag of popcorn ever to New York.
Oh my God. It's so cute. Comes in the clutch, on and off the court. Me and my friends do that. The few I have. It's the Meg the Stallion. We'll just say something like, "Oh, we should get Chipotle." No, it has to be a little more like, yeah, good. Not as like whiny.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. Deuce? Does he need help? Like,
Well, this has been a crazy week for you guys.
dude, we have to work all through the week, all through the weekend. I'm actually going to be off Thursday and Friday next week to work more, though, not to be off from work. But Deuce will have, I think, either Chris with him or
It's going to be Chris.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, but Friday will be him and I off because we'll be calling the game at Stockton. Thursday, I'm doing a thing with
I believe that's going to be Chris and Whitey.
on that Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's
when you guys are gone.
Sweet. Okay, cool. Love Whitey. I love Whitey. Oh my God. Yeah, he doesn't do well without like for someone that needs like podcasts all the time and like needs things in his ears, he does not do well with like no time to rest the brain.
I mean, who does?
Yeah. No, well, I just thought maybe he was like a little robotic. I guess not. Reaching that tipping point. Oh my God. Shut up and light the beam. I was gonna check on our chat. What up, chat? Sean says, "What is sleep?" Yeah, it's sleep is so good for you that it is wrong if you're not sleeping. I guess unless you have like a child or something.
Nah, it's fine to sleep.
Like that's the only time that it's okay to not, or a baby. I guess that's what babies do. That's why I'm not having kids. And I'm still not sleeping. Oh my God. Brooke was on his way to getting choke slammed if Sabonis didn't have him. That actually would have been funny on the scores table. When is Shut Up and Light the Beam going to be on Spotify? It's someone else, it's not our original song, so I don't even know if we can do that.
That's parody. Probably should be.
Really?
Yeah, Weird Al gets away with it.
I would have to re-record it then.
Yeah. Let's get you in the studio. That'll be a
I'll do the Christina Aguilera, like lay on the ground.
Is that what she does?
Shut up and light the beam. Well, I think she did that for like the "You Are Beautiful No Matter What," the one from 25 years ago.
25.
You are beautiful. No matter what they say.
Yes, what can't bring me down.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings won last night, 117 to 114. De'Aaron Fox scored 32 points. He was shooting 12 of 17 from the floor and 4 of 6 from behind the arc, including the final 3 when Fox called game over with 0.7 seconds left. For more on the game, check out Kings insider Frankie Cardoselli's recap of the game on SactownSports.com. Kings will have no time to rest. They're back in action tonight when they visit the Brooklyn Nets. You can listen to the game with coverage starting at 3 with game night and tip-off scheduled for 4:30 right here on Sactown Sports. At 1 o'clock, we will have Sean Cunningham of Fox 40 on to break down some of the college basketball games live from the Golden One Center. It is 12:30. Time to check out Courtside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. Now more with Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo on your local sports leader.
Sactown Sports.
My guy J. Ross had an incredible Kings stat he put out on social media.
What?
Kings with that road win, right? They're cruising on the road. We keep mentioning the best road record in the Western Conference, but how does it stack up in Kings history? Here are the most road wins in Kings history. The 01-02 team had 25 wins
Okay.
on the road. The 02-03 team had 24 road wins. Before that, the 2000-2001 team had 22 road wins. The 03-04 squad had 21 road wins. And the 04-05 squad had 20 road wins.
Wow.
Pretty incredible, right?
That is.
The Kings have 20, and they still have games to be played on the road.
What's like usually the good teams in the league each year? What are they usually around on the road?
This is what, I mean, the Bucks.
Yeah, I guess.
The Bucks have 50 wins. They're 22-13 on the road.
Okay.
The Kings are 20-13.
Okay.
The weird part is that the Kings are 21-14 at home. How do we explain that? How do we explain the weird home versus road split for this squad?
I think you'd have to look at some of those games and are they second night of a back-to-back? Are they, and it shouldn't matter. Or are they, the multiple days of rest in between games? We saw the record beforehand, or like as the season was going, it wasn't good if there was like 2+ days of rest in between games. How do you fix that? There's all these different things that you can look at, and I'm sure the stats people behind the scenes do look at those things of going, okay, where can we get better? Like, should we have an extra day of cardio on this day before the game or whatever it may be? I don't know. I'm not a professional, but maybe that's just what you look at.
It's weird. I would like them to finish a little stronger on the home floor, though, because you have, that's a legit home court advantage they have. It is.
Dude, the other night, the Milwaukee game, I mean, that was so loud. So loud. The energy, it's electric.
Imagine that's going to be like game 1 of the NBA playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about that, but I just want to remind you, do not forget to talk about the Grizzlies and why they're dirty.
We did kind of hit on that during the break. You saw the video of last night. Dylan Brooks was kind of falling in to the crowd, like the first row, kind of near the end of the scores table on the court. And he kind of fell into a camera guy who was holding the camera sitting down, right? He pushes the camera guy, like literally pushes and then walks away.
Yeah. Like,
what was that?
Runs into him, pushes him down more, and looks at him like, you're in my way, when he's on a sideline. I don't know. It looked like it was like a bullying, belittling move. I don't think I'm being dramatic by saying that.
That's what he does, though. This is what Dylan Brooks does, man.
Well,
and he does it with players. He does it with camera guys. It's just tired. It's just so exhausting.
I saw something the other day that he was wanted his game to be like Draymond's when he was in college or something. And it's funny because like there's a lot of similarities, but also he's missing so many things as well, like the rings too.
That's for sure. It's tough. He doesn't seem like a good guy. And that's my thing. It's one thing to have a competitive fire and a spirit, but are you cool to be around? And those actions with a camera guy?
That's weird. That if you're treating someone that you don't know like that, it's not even like, oh, in a heated moment, he was in my way. It's like, no, you went out of your way to push him and then look behind. But it's sad because then you see someone like Desmond Bane, who I really like. Now he's getting dirty.
I will never understand the whole hitting someone in the nuts thing. And last night in the drive, that looked intentional, right? The way his hand moved and hit Kevin Love.
No, it was 100% intentional, and it was Kevin Love switched on him on the pick, and so they were beyond the 3-point line, and he's going toward the right and not going toward the basket, going toward the right, and just comes up and like hooks Kevin Love on the little Kevin Loves.
Yes.
And just Kevin Love just goes to the ground. Officials throw the ejection right away. They didn't look back at the play. They saw what they saw and were like, you're out of here, you dirty, dirty man.
In the chat, Ninja Style 916 on the YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 says the Brooks thing was nothing in his opinion. He said it looked like he pushed to get up and get momentum to get back in the play. I didn't feel that way. Excuse me.
Bless you.
No, I felt like he didn't need to push up to get momentum. He pushed.
No, you guys, I just watched it and I'm telling you, like, because at first I was like, oh, from the far away view, that's what it looked like. And then when they showed the close up, it was he took the extra extension of the arm to push down and looked back at him too. Looked back at him.
Also, you shouldn't use a person off the floor as momentum.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, camera guy. You're holding this camera that weighs, I don't know, 40, 60 pounds, whatever it is. It's not a light camera.
My instinct would be to like help right away. It would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, not to push.
I could understand like shoving him and like trying to like stay up and then like getting back on, but then you have to go back immediately. Like, bro, I'm sorry.
You good? You good? None of that. It was ha.
Wow. Kings and Nets tonight, by the way, Morgan.
Ooh, I'm excited.
A win tonight, according to Chris Verlod, would clinch a winning season for the first time since the 05-06 squad, the last team that made the playoffs. And it would tie their most road wins in a season since the 04-05 season. It's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be tough. I was worried. We were both worried about yesterday's.
And it was close.
And it was close in a lot of ways. So just not a lot of good basketball was being played.
And tonight, in the second night of a back-to-back, Vegas has the Nets favored by 2.5 points.
Okay. I mean, good for Vegas.
I have the sneezes. Hold
on. My God, you do? Oh, this is great. Do it for the.
I can't.
Okay, look up at the light. I'll just keep talking.
Why the light?
Because like the light will help you sneeze.
Yeah, it helps you sneeze.
Why does it?
I don't know.
Let's actually.
Wow.
He's already done.
I think it's not looking at the light, but it's just putting your head up.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
I think it is.
So just to be clear, too, with Vegas, last night, I think the spread going into the game was 1.5 for the Kings, and it was a close game. The Kings won by 3 points.
Yeah.
But took that 3-pointer late. Tonight, the Nets favored. I want if Fox's ankle was being looked at yesterday, and I know it didn't impact him in the fourth quarter, but I don't know. We'll see when the injury report actually comes out for the Kings today, because it's second half of back-to-back. They don't have to report it right away, the injury report. So we'll keep you up to date on that.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned this last night in my NBC WebEx. I was talking about how the Nets are a lengthy team, right? They added Mikal Bridges, who not only is on a tear on the offensive end, but we know what he's capable of on the defensive end with his wingspan. But then Nick Claxton, I think they lead the league in blocks per game, and he's a big part of that. I mean, I think he's averaging over 2 blocks per game right now, and he's just a long force in the middle.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
They have the length. And Mikal Bridges has been a beast since going over there. Since the break, they're 5-6. They're kind of the middle of the pack. But they're a challenging team for sure. By the way, I just looked at the latest injury report. The Kings do have their injury report out. The only 2 listed as out, Keon Ellis and Rashawn Holmes. Neemias Queta did join the team.
Saw that.
In Chicago. What a crazy travel time for him. So Monday night, he was playing a game in Salt Lake City, had a monster game. Then the next morning, he flies with Stockton. The next morning, back to Sacramento. They play a game that night, back-to-back, travel day of game. They win that game, and then he gets on a plane to meet the team in Chicago. So he is with the squad tonight. You know, they went to Alex Len last night. I wonder if we can see Nehemiah's Keita tonight. They brought him up.
Yeah, they did.
And Rashawn Holmes is still out.
Well, and I forgot that Rashawn Holmes was
Yeah.
out because I said something last night like, you go that before Rashawn Holmes. But looking at Nemi and just talking a little G right now, what he's been able to do this season, the leap that he's taken, we saw in the beginning of this season, last season, he would have a nice little spin move, good little footwork, try and lay it up. You are 7 feet tall. Throw that ball down. What has he been doing? He's been throwing it down with authority, showing a little bit more nasty, just really liking what we're seeing with his development.
I love that the chat's bringing up this.
What?
Maybe a Kessler Edwards revenge game tonight against his former team. I mean, if you're Kessler Edwards, and if I'm Mike Brown, this is what I'm doing. I'm going, hey, Kessler, they didn't even trade you for anything. They traded you for the rights to some guy who's never coming over. In fact, we got paid to take you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they thought of you.
Yeah, I like it.
And kind of amp him up.
Yeah.
He drops 40 tonight.
I'd love to see him score and he just does the money sign like,
Let's go. All right, coming up at 1, we got Sean Cunningham from Fox 40. He's going to be joining us live, talk some Kings with him. It's Deuce and Mo. This is Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
When bright light causes the eyes, pupils to constrict, that may indirectly cause something and congestion in the nasal mucous membranes, which then leads to a sneeze.
Yeah, it leads to something that leads to it. Cool.
We got an email about Beach Hut deli sandwiches downstairs. Would you guys like one?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
If there's a veggie one, yeah.
All right, I'll go take a look.
Thank you. Are you so sick? How you doing, Deuce?
I'm great. How are you? No.
Okay.
I was just responding to stuff.
I was just asking.
You have something you want to talk about?
No, I guess not.
No to beach. Yeah, I didn't want to. I just ate a little bit ago. I just had like a bit right before we got here, breakfast burrito. So I didn't feel like I needed a sandwich.
I want it so then I don't have to make food or buy food later.
Mm.
Ooh. You know how De'Aaron said, I'm effing nice.
Yeah.
Like, what if we just called him like Mr. Nice?
I don't like the miss. We do everything Mr.
Okay.
Those vultures took everything.
Are you serious?
Every day. There's got it like 15 minutes.
Oh my God. That's, you know what I hate about that?
No.
Hear me out. And I'm sure some people can relate, but maybe it's just radio. If there's any food for free, I'm telling you, radio people don't do, let me just take, and I'm sure they were like half sandwiches for people to take, just grab one, maybe a bag of chips and walk. They're grabbing like multiple, like, oh, let me get a full sandwich, both halves, and let me take another half for later. And then people like Chris, you're like, oh, Beach Hut's here. I'm going to go down and get one. Nothing. Disgusting.
Well,
be better.
Yeah.
See?
Or maybe everyone's trying to feed their kids because they don't make enough money. And so they're like, I need to.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
it's always.
Do they know how much I get paid?
They're like, Chris is like, please, I can't afford to eat later. Please. Oh.
You know what we're supposed to do here?
What?
It's story time.
Oh, thank God.
Story time with Chris Verlaine, baby.
I like it.
I wish I could sing like you.
Dude, you can't. I can't even. I can hit a few more notes than you.
That's being nice.
No, I think
what's hitting a note? I could listen. I cannot do it.
I think you're a very good singer that you don't give yourself enough credit for.
Thank you, Chris. You're right about her.
I want to say thank you because I think that's because obviously I think that's a compliment. That's nice. I just don't hear it.
Okay, so everyone else does. You've seen your comments today.
No
one's acting like you're like
sometimes
Whitney
I think
Houston in their prime, but like for someone who doesn't, you're not like in a band, you're not labeling yourself a musician, you're just like singing just randomly. That's pretty good. Like if you're at a karaoke bar and you went up there, like, oh, she's pretty good.
I was gonna ask.
And I think a lot of it, you're just messing around, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think if you were to like focus and like try hard, I think you'd have something going.
Yeah.
You'd have success. You might be a megastar.
Like Selena Gomez. Because I don't think she can really sing.
Okay.
But like
shots fired.
No, but she's an entertainer. That's the thing though. Like what she created with her personality and then was like, I'm going to also sing, even though I'm not the best singer in the world, but I can get by and entertain.
You have some fun stories today, Chris?
Oh, I do.
Oh, good. We need it.
Hell yeah.
Here we go.
Mariah Reagan. Andy says trout for American.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Mariah Reagan, huh? You got the pipes, Morgan? Don't be shy.
Stop. So stupid.
People are buzzing today about you.
You know why I do get shy? As Deuce puts his Crocs right next to my face.
I don't mean to put
You would be so mad at me.
I'm just comfy. You can
the one time I moved my foot up to tie the shoe, he was
what
like,
are you even doing?
Yeah, that was distracting.
Is it on the table though?
I'm fine
It looks
with
like
it.
I'm hovering.
I don't care either way. Like I'm not going to yell at you like you did to me.
Is it too close to you?
No, I don't care. Your shoes look clean.
Thank you.
If they were dirty, I'd be like, get those away from me.
Crocs
dude.
are so comfy.
You do need. We have to get you some Croc pins.
Like a little kid.
No, I'm sure there's adults with Croc pins. Chris, confirm.
I don't know what Croc pins are.
Like the things that go in the Crocs. They're like
see the little holes in the Crocs. People, there's like there's pins people put in like different things.
Like kids will have like Pikachu or like a Disney character. because it's like a charm bracelet. But
Should I do that?
Yes.
What should I put on it?
But you got to get a Kings one.
Yeah, like the beam one.
Yeah. We'll get you a few wrestling ones. It's
What they're called what? Giblets or gibbets? Giblets?
Gibbets.
No, I'm getting multiple people.
Let's see. Gibbets charms. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're called gibbets with a Z.
I'm totally getting. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fill all my
They have a
Croc
basketball one.
holes.
Fill your Croc holes with these.
That's hilarious.
Oh God.
Yeah, I didn't know they were a thing. I just bought So when I went to New York in September, when we were there for broadcast meetings, there was one day in my just like normal like shoes I wear.
We walked
12 miles, and I got home and I was like, my foot. I had major foot pain. Like it felt like plantar fasciitis. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Plantar. Doug Christie used to have it. I just remember him missing games because of it.
Oh, what a loser.
I know.
Good thing he's with our fine sponsors at Good Feet.
Yeah, that's why he went there. And I didn't go to Good Feet. I went, let me go search some stuff on Amazon. And Crocs had good reviews. I'm like, oh, there's some Crocs. And now I'm like, these are kind of comfy every once in a while.
When is this your first time wearing them out to work?
I've done it a couple times.
Really? See, I haven't even noticed. Chris hasn't noticed. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Deuce brought it up when he bought them the first time.
Oh, well, I just forgot about that moment.
Well, we got Sean Cunningham coming up at 1:00. We'll talk some Kings after that big win last night, but we do this every day. It's time for a little story time with Christopher Lab, baby.
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Chris Verlaud gives you the stories that you need to hear.
Yep.
Or maybe not. Story time.
With Chris Verlaud, baby! What do we got today, Chris? Chris.
So I do have a dark one, and I'll ask you now. Do you want to do it here or save it for Monday?
Do it here.
Okay. This takes place in Toronto, Canada, from the CBC.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Millard said he was wrongfully convicted for the murder of Tim Bosma and is appealing the conviction for the murder of that 32-year-old father. Millard is defending himself, and his defense is that the prosecution cast him as the perfect villain, but he's saying, hey, if I was such a perfect villain, why was the murder so sloppy and careless?
It's a fair point. It's honestly a pretty good defense. Hey, if it was so perfect, why would it be all messy, huh?
So in 2013, Dylan Millard and Mark Smith murdered Bosma in a robbery gone wrong. Millard's fingerprints were found on the inside of Bosma's blood-stained truck, which was at Millard's mom's house. A shell casing to a .380 caliber bullet they traced back to Millard, and Bosma's blood was found on the hatch of Millard's incinerator, labeled the Eliminator, parked in the woods behind Millard's barn that also contained bones of a human male under 40.
So maybe this wasn't a good defense. The sloppy. It's like literally, everything is tied to you, man. Everything.
Like, where there's smoke, there's fire, and it's like, and they have video of him actually killing him.
This is more of where there's fire, there's fire.
Yeah. Have you watched Dexter before? Like, you could plan it out a little better than that.
I didn't watch Dexter, but I know what you're kind of talking about.
Man.
All right. How about we go to?
Is that it?
That's it.
That's
yeah.
great. That's hilarious.
Okay. Go on.
Start you out dark. We'll get a little lighter. Wilmington, North Carolina. WECT News. I know you guys love alligator stories.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Home inspector Dean Brown was inspecting a new development and noticed an 8-foot stuffed alligator in the attic. Brown continued his inspection, and since it was a little dark in the attic, he brought his flashlight, started moving it around, and he put it on the alligator. At that point, that's when the alligator winked, and he noticed the alligator breathing. It wasn't a stuffed alligator. It was a real alligator in the attic of this 3-story house.
Okay, I just got to go back to one thing. Did the alligator wink or did he blink?
I'm guessing he blinked because they're like kind of on like other sides.
Okay. The wink would be kind of funny. He's like,
I'm gonna get you.
You thought I was stuffed. Wink. You know what I mean?
I was confused when it was described as a wink.
Yeah.
He said it winked. My guess is blink.
So I'm looking up there and shine that flashlight. That thing winked at me.
I ain't a stuffed animal.
So nobody knows how the alligator got to the attic.
Okay.
They had stairs up there. So I'm like, okay, I guess it climbed up the stairs. The people working on the house, they noticed a few days before there was mud all over the house and stuff. They thought it was just people walking around, tracking in mud. So they just cleaned it up and went on going to what they were doing. The guy comes out. The workers are still in the house. He says, "Get out. There is an alligator in here." Of course, they don't believe him. So he had to show them pictures of the alligator in the attic.
That looks stuffed to me.
So animal control was called to the house, removed the alligator, and everybody is fine.
Is the alligator alive?
Alligator's alive.
Good.
Sent back to the swamp.
Good. Oh,
Good to go.
back to the swamp.
What's wrong with people? Like,
how do you not like notice things? It's my
or just like if that alligator walked in or someone helped, I don't know, whatever. But people just keeping these like wild, like huge animals. Like, what's wrong with you?
Well, okay, that is weird, but it was wild and it just got in there, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't it's juice. It wasn't like they were keeping it. But my other
I don't
thing
buy
is,
that.
here's my thing. I have a small home. I'm just so locked in. I go around, I'll go check closets and stuff sometimes when I get home just to make sure that there's no killer waiting for me.
What's bad? I do the same thing.
Yeah, no, and it's just more, and it's like, it's a small enough home where it's like, it's quick. If it was like big, I'm like, I'm not going upstairs if there was an upstairs. But yeah, so anyway, I would definitely know if there's an alligator in my house.
All right. How about we go to Scottsdale, Arizona?
Love Scottsdale.
This is courtesy of the BBC.
Okay.
Canadian Supreme Court Justice Russell Brown is on paid leave after an intoxicated altercation at a Scottsdale resort.
Oh.
According to the police report filed in January by Jonathan Crump, Brown was intoxicated and harassing a female friend of his. Crump said that he told the judge that he's clearly intoxicated and the girls are, quote, creeped out by you. He said that is when the judge shoved him, and he responded by shoving him back and punching him twice in the face.
Nice.
Judge Brown said that is not what happened at all. His side of the story is that Crump was upset that he rejoined their group, and without warning, he punched him 2 times. So the police came out, and one of the women said that the judge did kiss her on the cheek a couple times, touched her back and leg. She said it was not sexual, but it was unwanted, and the other woman said that Judge Brown made them feel uncomfortable. Arizona police did attempt to interview the judge, but they were unable to reach him. In the police report, they said that Crump, the guy that punched the judge, was hostile and under the influence of alcohol. But based on the totality of the circumstances, the use of force appeared reasonable and necessary, and no crime was determined.
Punch the creep. Punch the creep.
The Canadian Judicial Council is reviewing a complaint that was sent to them, and they will review his status as a judge.
Good. Why? Oh my God! There's so many people that abuse their power. Disgusting. But also the men. I've had a guy touch my leg underneath a table before, and it's just like you freeze. You don't know what to do. It's the most scary, powerless moment of your life. Even if it's like just a quick little touch, it doesn't matter. It's so weird. Punch them all in the freaking face.
Did you punch him?
I didn't. I felt it was younger in my career, and I felt powerless. Like it was just an awful
That's the thing too.
Awful moment.
Like until you hear stories like that, you think it's like, oh, it's just an innocent thing.
Right.
Why are you getting so worked up about? But it's not.
No, it's not cool at all. Punch in the face.
Always. I mean, if you guys, I don't think you should resolve things with violence unless they're a creep. Punch them in the face.
Speaking of a creep, Sean Cunningham from Fox 40 joining us coming up next. He's at Golden One Center watching some basketball today with the NCAA tournament going on. But we'll be talking to him about the Kings. Kings coming off a big road win. I saw G-Man tweet this out last night, Morgan. Walked into the hotel room at 3:19 a.m. Still unpacking to be done. Will be well after 4 a.m. when lights go out. That's travel life in the NBA. It's a back-to-back. Kings and Nets tonight. Whew.
That makes me tired.
It's going to be a tough one. We'll talk to Sean about what the Kings are doing. And we're going to bully him into saying that Mike Brown, he would vote for him for coach of the year.
Hell yeah.
That's straight ahead. It's Deuce Mo on Sactown Sports, 1140 SactownSports.com. Sean will be on the phone. Sasha Vezenkov hit a game winner, huh? Okay.
Ooh, Sasha Vezenkov.
Our guy.
I'm excited if that is something that
Probably got inspired by De'Aaron last night, you know.
he'll go for it.
Vezenkov.
Vezenkov, okay. Oh, I meant to text my producer. Dude, producer Anthony Garcia.
Is he leaving NBC?
I don't think so. But did
How's
you
he
see
gonna
that?
do both.
I don't think he'll do baseball season. I don't know the answer, but either way, super happy for him.
That's awesome. He's a big
always,
Giants guy.
Yeah, and he's always like on that on-air path, you know, and so like doing those type of things are just
amazing.
Awesome.
So Vesnikov plays in the Greek league, right?
Isn't it the Euro?
Well, the Euro League, but in
Okay.
the Greek team. Did you see what his nickname is?
I think I don't remember it.
It's Telos Pichnedou.
Oh,
What does
no,
that
then
mean?
I
It
didn't see
means game over, which is interesting.
Stop it. Are you being serious?
That's weird.
You're joking,
weird.
right? Are you joking? I can't tell. He's joking.
Are you joking?
Yeah, he's
Oh.
joking. That was good, Chris.
I thought I saw he had an interesting nickname. So,
Such a D.
or is maybe I'm thinking of Bielitsa.
Right after the show.
Sasha nickname. No, maybe I'm just making stuff up. Yep. Bum 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 bum.
Him so much.
If you haven't hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Live and local content all day long from 6 a to 6 p.
Chris, you know how many people have said, oh.
Icy. Weird. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I've had multiple people text or DM me, that song's been stuck in my head all day. Someone said that they should have Walk the Moon do like a halftime show of the playoffs, and then they just change the lyrics to that part.
100%.
No, they don't get to use our lyrics.
We sue them.
We steal their music. They have to no.
Oh my god, so stupid.
They do their song. They do the Shut Up and Dance With Me, and then they go. I mean, I didn't even know where they're from, so I'm just go. Ladies and gentlemen, please introduce Morgan Reagan.
How's it go, Morgan?
Which part?
Your song.
Oh, don't you dare look down. Can't you see that gleam? It's a lit up town. They said, shut up and light the beam. This laser is the Kings fan's dream. They said, ooh, shut up and light the beam. See, there's a place though there you have to take a breath. And
You're not done.
Oh, we were victims losing games.
Okay.
In the most dark and depressing ways. A joke of the league, it was a shame. Oh, we were bound to see the laser, bound to see the laser. Mike Brown took charge. I don't know how it happened. They took the floor and they said, oh, don't you dare look down. Can't you see that gleam? It's a lit up town. They said, shut up and light the beam. This laser is a king. Good. I couldn't breathe. Real singers.
Good job.
Breathe.
Without the music. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings won last night, 117 to 114. De'Aaron Fox scored 32 points, shooting 12 of 17 from the floor, 4 of 6 from behind the arc, including the final 3 when Fox called game over with 0.7 seconds left. For more on the game, check out our Kings insider Frankie Cardoselli's recap on SactownSports.com. Kings will have no time to rest. They're back in action tonight when they visit the Brooklyn Nets. You can listen to the game starting with game night at 3 and tip-off scheduled for 4:30 right here on Sactown Sports. It is 1 o'clock. Time to check out Courtside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. And now it's time to go back to Deuce Mo with our guest, Sean Cunningham.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Cattles and Rami coming up at 2 today.
Hey,
with NCAA tournament going on. Kings with a big win. Actually, do they have a short? They have a short show today. I always mess this up. Hour show because Kings basketball's today tipping off at 4:30, 4 o'clock with Kings live pregame with Jay Ross and Henry Turner. Hey, Morgan Reagan.
Hi, Deuce Mason.
We have to talk to a good friend. I believe he's on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
All right. Let's check in with him. He's live at Golden One Center watching some NCAA tournament. But, of course, we got to talk some Kings with him after the Kings got the win in Chicago last night. He's the one and only Sean Cunningham from Fox 40. What's up, Seanzo?
Deuce and Mo.
Oh, hi.
Did I hit the note?
Oh, my. You kind of, honestly, Sean, I would put you in my band.
Wow.
Oh, lead singer. Thank you.
That's interesting you put him in your band because I would not put him in mine.
Well, you're kind of an ass and I'm not.
Well, is it obvious that you would put him in yours?
Yes,
okay. No,
he has a sense like a good music feel, like he loves music.
So it's obvious.
What?
It's almost as obvious as Mike Brown for Coach of the Year.
Oh, here we go.
Sean Cunningham's not so certain about that, apparently. Hey, Sean, how you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you guys? I would I would just say that while I said again, there was 18 or 19 games left in the season. I think when I said what I said, I said what I said. I didn't say I didn't think he would win because I think he will win. That wasn't my point. I was making some arguments for some other people. And look, I mean, I know everyone's so close to what happens here in Sacramento, and I think if you take it on Coach of the Year, like I think the reason I think Mike Brown will win is because so many media types will vote for it. And they'll take narratives from past seasons and history of Sacramento and roll that into what's happening this season. And it's a feel-good story. And nonetheless, again, if he wins, it's not like I'm shouting from mountaintop, like, no, this is an injustice for guys like Mike Budenholzer or Michael Malone or, but it's funny just how often coach of the year ends up being more of the surprise coach of the year. Like this person has been the surprise coach. And I don't always agree with some of the coaches that get it, but I could make arguments for others is kind of the point I was making even with Joe Mazzulla. But yeah, man, he'd probably be in my top two, but
top two?
like Mike Buden.
How can we bully you into saying that you would actually, what would Mike Brown have to do for you to be like, yeah, you know what? He would be my vote.
I mean, he doesn't really have to do much of anything. I mean, first of all, Mike Brown probably doesn't want it. Secondly, I don't have a vote, so calm down, folks. And it's an opinion. And,
I know. I just want to change your opinion. I want to have that influence over you. I'm the puppet master.
I mean, look, it takes nothing away from what he's done, But again, you've got a team that's putting, and this could be an argument in his favor, but it's like, you've got this. At the time I said it, it's like, no, there's still like 7 teams, I think, that were better records overall. You had a team that was doing some incredible things offensively, stuff we haven't seen before in league history, which is awesome. Defensively, they're a joke. Defensively, they're an absolute joke. So to find moments where, like, I think also there are coaches that get dissed in a way. Like, oh, you're expected to be a great coach because of the talent you have. And that's just utter garbage, because with that great talent comes great expectations. And if you meet said expectations, it's like, well, okay, yeah, you were supposed to do that. And I just don't like that stuff.
You know what's funny, Sean? I think Deuce just wanted to have you on just for
true.
that. So actually,
that's not true.
Have a great day. Thank you for no. Seriously though, I think that your points are absolutely valid, and I do appreciate that. Whether you're cynical or like you're being a little bit hard on Mike Brown and just watching this every single night. No, I think because I do the same thing sometimes. Like it's not that I don't believe that he deserves it or believe that this team can get out of the first round of playoffs. It's just like, when you don't see something consistently and you're just seeing it consistently for one season finally, it gives you a little bit of like, oh, okay, is this real? But I'm starting to believe everything's real, Sean, and that's not only with Mike Brown, that's with everything else on the floor. And then De'Aaron Fox being Mr. Clutch or Clutch Player of the Year, whatever you want to call it. What about his performance last night? What does that solidify his award?
I think so. I mean, that to me is a no-brainer. And since we're on the topic of awards, I mean, we can take it back a little bit. Like I said last year, the acquisition of Domantas Sabonis is a franchise-altering move and will lead to success. I mean, you're adding another one of the best players in the league with a player who just so greatly needed a pressure release, somebody else to help him. There was nobody more thrilled to see Domantas Sabonis come to the Kings than De'Aaron Fox. The guy was elated because it takes pressure off of him. And now he's able to roam and do what he does. And yes, Mike Brown is a huge part of that, but Domantas Sabonis is probably a bigger part of that. And I think this leads well into a discussion of when you're talking executives of the year. I mean, look no further than Monty McNair for the turnaround. And again, so many times it's a media-driven award. All these awards are, and they come with narratives. And it's like all it shows is just how bad Sacramento has been and how bad the history of Sacramento is. But in my mind, the big turnaround is as a result of pieces that were added to this roster, and including Mike Brown, obviously, because Mike Brown, like I said, this is his first season. That's a decision made by the front office to come here. So. To me, all the arguments you can make for Mike Brown, to me, almost ring just as true, if not, in my opinion, way more true with what the executives have done. But to answer your question, I mean, De'Aaron Fox is having, it's obviously his best season. He's become an all-star, and what's even bigger than that is what he's doing in the fourth quarter. And I remember hearing people talk about, even from around the league, talking about how, oh, that can be viewed as possibly selfish. No, this is not a guy hunting stats. This is not a guy who goes out there and his takeover mode is in the best interest for his team. And he has the ultimate teammate to set him up and put him in position to succeed in Domantas Sabonis.
You've been around De'Aaron a long time, obviously his entire career. So you remember him when he was drafted here from the University of Kentucky, the expectations that came with it, the roller coaster ride his career has been in Sacramento. What's been the biggest surprise to you about this season with him?
Probably the way he has, like, his composure's always been there. I mean, he's a guy who I think will fool you in a sense that you might look at him and go, he probably doesn't care about basketball as much as he does other things or other interests. And I think that's garbage. I've always said I think he's a very competitive player. But I think he had to come into his own, and I think he's the type of star, and I use that term not loosely, like he is a star, and I think he's come into his own because of it, but I think he's the type of star that needs to be pushed. He's always had that criticism of being the Ferrari that won't go above 60 all the time, won't keep his foot on the pedal, and that's been, I mean, even John Calipari said it. I mean, he's like the biggest weakness he has is not keeping his foot on the pedal, and you've seen what that looks like. And then obviously his competitive nature pushes through. To me, he's put together more of a solid effort this year. He's carrying the burden of lack of not being in the postseason and having the lack of success as the face of this franchise. Like it or not, it's a position he wanted to be in. But then once you're there, a whole bunch more expectations get heaped upon it. So for him to have the success, I'm happy for him. I think he's taken growth. I don't think he's a guy who's been immature for his entire time here, but he is someone who's grown along the way. But he's always been a guy who's had a great temperament, a sense of competitive nature. But he's also keenly aware of the expectations that came with the contract. I think, you sign that contract, you have to live up to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't kick in for that second year. I mean, there's a lot of burden that comes with making that money. And, like it or not, there was chatter about possibly moving on from De'Aaron Fox because of the money. And hey, you're paying a guy basically a max contract, and you have nothing to show for it. And so them doubling down and getting someone like Sabonis with him has paid off in dividends. And it's just so fun to watch. And you see that smile on his face. Mm-hmm. You see the competitive nature, and you're seeing him absolutely flourish.
Sean, I know you have a cynical side to you, but I got to ask you, you see everything that's going on in the Western Conference. Do you think the Kings have a chance to make it out of a first round of the playoffs?
First of all, cynical side.
By the way, that's not an insult. I don't think that's an insult. There's nothing wrong with being cynical.
Yeah.
So don't go at my guy Sean like that.
But why is it even, if it's not negative, then how am I going?
But you're painting it that way.
No, I think Sean, I want to almost say it's realistic, but I think Sean sometimes gets afraid of being he never wants to be a homer in any way, shape, or form. Right. And so he goes the opposite direction sometimes.
Is what you're saying.
Yes. But I also think that, I think you obviously give some great information, Sean, but I also think I can convince you to go the other way. But what's your answer to this?
My answer to this is that was an entirely inaccurate statement about me being cynical. Secondly, secondly would be, no, I am a realist. I'm not out there, trying to fill people's heads full of expectations who, drink purple colored Kool-Aid and I was about to use a bad word there, but but basically have everything in the organization's best interest. I want to be a realist. I want people to temper enthusiasm and curb enthusiasm and make sure you see it first. And what I will say, when you talk about optimism, I think I've been Captain Optimism since December when I said, hey, if this team makes the playoffs or a postseason play-in tournament, from what I've seen thus far, this team looks like it would be a tough out for any opponent. I don't care who it is. Maybe, in the West anyway. I think if they played somebody like Milwaukee, they'd probably lose 7, 8 out of 10 times, but just because of horrible matchup. But if you look up and down the West, there's not a single team outside of maybe a few that really scare me. I like the competitive fire that this team shows. And what's interesting to me, guys, is to see what happens in a playoff series. What's that storyline everyone's missing? Because every year there's someone, doesn't matter what series it is, that rises above the fray, someone who wasn't expected and has this is my this is my Bobby Portis, if you will. This is my physical, the guy who's making the difference in the series from a physical defensive standpoint, or comes in and just absolutely leads this team to just that X factor, if you will. And I don't know who that will be, because for the Kings, it's somebody new every single night. And that's what I think is most intriguing. So I've been kind of, planting my flag in the sense that I think this team will be a competitive team in the playoffs. I want to see what it looks like in a 7-game playoff series. That being said, guys, I don't blame teams like the Lakers, who are trying to fight to get in the postseason, or even somebody like the Warriors or any team that has playoff experience, looking at the Kings and licking their chops saying, I want this playoff, this team that doesn't have that type of postseason experience.
Yeah, I get that too. I mean, from a Lakers perspective, God, the West is just so weird right now. I was like, even looking at last night when Steph drops 50 points.
Yes.
But they lose again on the road. The Warriors are 7-27. The Lakers, I know they were without AD. He wasn't playing second half back-to-back. But even that, I'm going, I think AD wants to play. And if he feels like he's good, let him play. You guys are trying to make something, and then you just lose a game to Houston last night. Oh, the West is just bizarre this year. I just don't trust anybody in the West right now, Sean. Even Denver's kind of falling apart here. I know they'll probably bounce back taking on the Pistons tonight, but it's a very weird time in the Western Conference.
Yeah, and I mean, the best, I think the Kings have been among the most healthy teams in the league, which is crazy to say because of all the hits Domantas Sabonis takes and the hand injury he's had, and the knickknacks that De'Aaron Fox has experienced, the up and downs, but they've had availability of their players. They've had the health of their players. This is a team that practices all the time. Mike Brown is running these guys through the gauntlet in terms of always having to show up and practice and do shoot-arounds and not take any days off, kind of a thing. That gets criticized a lot, especially by some players because they don't like it. But every player will look at it and go, we understand. And you know what? We probably benefited from it. I mean, it's funny hearing Malik Monk say, hey, how have you been able to have such a great record on the road? And he's like, because when we land, we go practice. We land in that city and we immediately go practice. So other teams are looking at, taking it a lot of time off, rest and relaxation, recovery. And, maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's, that's maybe why injuries happened along the way. There's no analytic for it necessarily, but I think it is interesting. And the fact that this team has played so well on the road, the fact that they have, let's face it, caught the benefit of playing a lot of teams that haven't had their best players. That's fine, but you still have to control what you can control and beat the teams that are in front of you. So they've done a remarkable job at that, especially with the way they play with that fast, high-paced, efficient offense.
Yeah, on the road, I know we've seen a good record. G-Man had a tweet about flying into Brooklyn last night, super late, 3 a.m. And then it's a second night of a back-to-back, quick turnaround for this team tonight against the Nets. How are you feeling? I feel like the Kings sometimes going up against a lengthier, longer squad. They got Mikal Bridges and Claxton. Are you feeling confident in the Kings tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I would just because of how they've played overall. I mean, this team could come back, what is it, like 5 games in 7-8 nights, something like that, 9 nights or whatever it is. I mean, you can come back from this trip with a losing record, and I wouldn't feel any differently than I did before they went out on the trip. I like to call it equity. They've built that equity to where no matter, where they fall, and I don't think guys, I mean, I might be on a hill here. I mean, I'm talking about optimism. I don't think they're falling past 3.
I'm with you on that. It's so late. I feel like they've got like a legit, they built a legit cushion here.
Yeah, and honestly, like you can lose a few games and it'll be just okay. And it's fun to watch how this team hasn't, had really a losing streak beyond 3 or 4 since November.
Yeah, the 3-game one was late November.
That's insane. So I mean, they have a lot of fortitude. I mean, that's the way this team competes is really impressive. And hey, Trey Lyles was just suspended. He's been such a big guy who's contributed off the bench that probably not a lot of people, including myself, expected for him to contribute in this fashion. And he just had a nice day off. It was an expensive day off, but I think he's the type of guy that can give them a boost tonight. So I think it'll play out fine. They can come back off this trip. It's their last long trip of the season, and even if it's a losing record, they're going to be just fine.
Man, this is a fun time. Sacramento
Who
basketball.
do you guys want to see in the playoffs? Like, if you had, I keep asking. I mean, I know like the West changes every day, but if you had to pick one, who do you want?
I think Dallas is one that immediately comes to mind for me because I just don't think they've got the pieces to get it done. They don't have the defense or really the firepower outside of Luka and Kyrie. Now it's like Dallas is falling apart though. Like they got to be careful here, especially if Kyrie misses extended time. They may not even be in there. Other than that, I don't know if there's anyone I'd be excited to play. I think it's so close.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Dallas is the team that they'll ultimately face. I don't know. We don't know obviously who's coming out of that play-in tournament there, and it could be maybe Dallas is in that conversation. But there's not many. There's a few teams that make me nervous, and it's weird for me to think that Minnesota is one of them. And I think it's just because of the way another long, lanky team. Are they going to have Cat back? Who knows what that looks like?
Oh, please have Cat back. That's going to ruin them.
I know. I tell people all the time, if there was a team that I took over as a general manager, God forbid, and I had Cole Anthony Towns on that team, I'm immediately trading him.
Yes, I agree with you. Like, he's super talented, but like that Minnesota team's so weird. I just build around Ant. That's the squad.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
By the way, Sean is at Golden One Center watching some NCAA basketball. What's the vibe like today? Has it been fun out there?
Yeah, what's cool is they had this event in the first year it was open. And remember, to go back in just the history of Golden One Center, it's like this was the event that changed Sacramento's mind when it came to getting a new arena. Because you remember, is Arco Sleep Train Arena where the NCAA said, no, this is not suitable.
Ooh, that's right.
And so they go through, we all know what it looked like to get this building, and they get it in the second year, something like that. And I remember I covered that. They had Oregon, Dylan Brooks' team coming in here, Chris Boucher, and then you had UCLA with Lonzo Ball. And here we are again, so many years later, UCLA is coming through again. You got Arizona, who a lot of people think could maybe win it all. And this place is just absolutely loving it. There's so many fans here. Not a lot of empty seats. You might see a lot of empty seats around the court if you're watching it on television. But I'm telling you, this is one of the better attended arenas when it comes to this, because it's not uncommon to see some empty seats the way the tickets are sold for the various games that happen each night. You got a morning session with 2 games. You have the afternoon session with 2 games. And usually when you buy your tickets, you get double headers. So they'll have to clear out and bring people in. But this arena is very well attended. The crowds are into it. And yeah, you just saw Utah State give a pretty good Missouri team a run for their money, and Missouri just pulled away. So now it's followed up right now with Princeton and Arizona, and can't wait to see it.
Let's go. Well, Sean, have fun out there, man. I'm jealous. That's going to be a good time out there. So enjoy.
Come on out.
Dude.
You'll be here tonight.
I am not here to know. I know Jason Ross is going out there tonight to watch UCLA after the Kings game.
Oh,
he's going to go out there.
We got a pod.
He gonna dress up as the Bruins? He'll be the Bear, right?
Yeah, apparently he wants to go see UCLA lose. I think that.
Oh,
that'd be
you're
great.
so evil.
I know. Well, Sean, thanks for joining us, dude.
Anytime, you know that.
All right, man. Have fun out there.
Sorry, I can't see you guys.
I know. I
It's
miss
okay.
your face.
Bye,
Bye,
All
bye,
right,
Sean.
I'll talk to you soon. It's Sean was just mentioning Lonzo Ball at the end of that.
Yeah.
And Lonzo was here in Sacramento, as Sean mentioned, with UCLA playing in the NCAA tournament when it was first year at Golden One Center. Lonzo Ball undergoing that 3rd procedure on his left knee. And
Is this brand new news?
This is news that just came out. Shams and Woj putting out there. So he's having the surgery on the left knee. It's going to cost him most, if not all, of next year.
Oh my God. Wait, I want to go to his.
And Sham says the sides are optimistic of the procedure reviving Ball's career. Woj says there are concerns about Ball's ability to resume his career and hopes that this surgery, which could cost Ball another full season away, will give him a pathway to play again. ESPN reported last week that Ball was waiting a procedure. It's just so sad. The guy had 2 surgeries and could not walk. He was having trouble moving. And here he is having a 3rd one, trying to go, can I just get back on the floor?
The most games he played in his career so far, 63 with New Orleans that first year after the Lakers.
Dude.
So freaking sad.
It's so scary because you hear about these surgeries all the time, and all of us think oh yeah, he'll be good in 4 to 6 weeks. He'll be back on the court.
It's true. Even when we were talking about Brock Purdy's elbow surgery, I was like, what's going to go wrong? And it's there's, even
you
if
just never know.
Yep.
Your bodies respond differently. And it just sucks, dude. You just hate scenes. And he's a really talented player.
Yeah. Had a great feel. Has a great feel for the game.
Good defensive play.
Yep.
I mean, Chicago was better with him when he was out there.
Yep. Oh my God, they had a
Dude.
time when they were fun with him and Caruso cruising.
Yeah, we'll talk some more NBA coming up next. Plus, we'll get you closer to Cattles and Rami. It's Deuce Mo on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
That really makes me sad.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, and just his brother and that non-contact injury. I mean,
Yeah.
some bodies, genetics, bones.
Sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man, dude. Mets closer Edwin Diaz tore the patellar tendon in his right knee during Puerto Rico's World Baseball Classic victory celebration, and he's going to need surgery. He's going to miss this season. During a celebration.
No.
What? God, these injuries are so depressing.
I mean,
Worse than story time with
that's what I was just about to say.
Oh
What's
my
more
God.
depressing? Honestly, this right now. Alligator didn't eat anyone today.
Not today. Next time.
I mean, think about the party that happened every time he was coming into a game last year with that
Oh,
song.
man.
It was epic. So he's missing the entire season.
That's awful.
Oh my! I just want to celebrate a win. Oh, patellar tendon done.
I really do feel really bad for people that injuries get in their way. There's nothing that they can control.
Man.
You know, you mentioned Anthony Davis and just like, resting, like team resting him or whatever. And it's like, you're so right though. If you're capable of playing and you're trying to push, play.
Skip in the chat says those big baller brand shoes messed him up. He said he had to change into a new pair every quarter because they were falling apart. Should have signed with Nike and got that big bag and his health. Yeah, and you do wonder too, like he played a lot of basketball growing up, you know, and there's that article that Baxter Holmes did. We talked about that a couple weeks back. Like these kids are playing so many games, and some of the stats about how many torn ACLs are happening to like kids as young as like 8 years old and they're needing surgery. The point of the article is like some of these players are coming to the NBA broken with a ton of mileage on them, and it's not normal is what the point is. It's not normal at all.
No, and I'm not a scientist looking at all these analytics, so I don't know what the answer is.
You're not?
No.
Oh.
No. Or am I? I love that we just like completely tell Sean exactly what he is. You're wrong about Mike Brown. You're cynical.
Yeah,
You're this.
He's trying way too hard with the Mike Brown stuff. And he means it. I'm not sure to say he's trying hard. It's just like, stop it. Even Missoula, like how I look at it with Joe Missoula, I give him a lot of credit for coming into a situation where there's championship aspirations after going last year and you take over 2 days before camp. But you also have the deepest team in the NBA. You have 2 stars. Like, not saying it's easy at all. But Sacramento, one, wasn't expected to be good.
Yeah.
Right? They're supposed to be maybe a play-in team. They've exceeded expectations drastically. They're near the top of the Western Conference. They had 2 All-Stars. And yeah, Monty deserves credit too, but Brown's kind of brought it together. And when you listen to the players talk about Mike Brown, I think that's impactful too. It's to
all
me,
of it.
It's not even close.
And sometimes when you're so close in it, it's just like when we were talking about De'Aaron Fox early on. It's like, yeah, I definitely think he should be in the MVP conversation, but I'm also watching him every single night.
Yeah.
Where just you're not capable of doing that if you're covering the entire league.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with us this afternoon. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. Is Nick doing a show from Vegas today?
Yeah.
He just went there for the tournament the first
Yeah.
day?
No way.
That's cool. I know a lot of people like going there for the tournament the first. He's gambling.
I'm not sure.
We should ask him. Ask him right away.
Where's he doing the show from?
I think his hotel room.
Nice.
There was an idea of him doing it from the pool, which I think would have been hilarious.
Hopefully with his shirt on. What?
Deuce Mason. Oh, don't you dare look down.
Andy wants to know, is Morgan
Stop.
is Morgan going to get a Cody Rhodes style tattoo?
On the neck? Wait, why would I
don't
do
know.
that?
It's a really random question, but I like it.
If the Kings win the championship this year, not like in the future, that just this year, they win the championship, will you get a Kings tattoo on your neck?
No. I would never get
That would
a
hurt so
neck
bad.
tattoo. I don't even care about it
Come on,
hurting.
but what are the odds of that happening?
Hey, no, I would never get a neck tat. Neck tat. A neck tat.
I'm Chris Verlade with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings won last night 117 to 114. De'Aaron Fox scored 32 points, shooting 12 of 17 from the floor and 4 of 6 from behind the arc, including the final 3 when Fox called game over with 0.7 seconds left. For more on the game, check out our Kings insider Frankie Cardoselli's recap on SactownSports.com. Kings will have no time to rest. They're back into action tonight when they visit the Brooklyn Nets. You can listen to the games starting with game night at 3 and tip-off scheduled for 4:30 right here on Sactown Sports. It is 1:30. Time to check out Courtside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. And now more with Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
And some of this injury news coming out today is pretty wild. Mentioned Lonzo Ball. He's going to have his third knee surgery coming up here. He's expected to miss most of next year. Then Edwin Diaz of the Mets. He's going to be missing the season after getting hurt during a celebration in the World Baseball Classic. On a more minor note, Steph Curry, who dropped 50 points last night in the Warriors' loss to the Clippers.
Yeah.
He is questionable for Friday's game with a thumb injury.
Ay. Dude, it's when you look at the Western Conference. I mean, I know we were looking at injuries, but you look at the Western Conference with even that. And every time that I start going, I can't doubt the Warriors. I can't doubt the Warriors. There's just something that goes, maybe you should. Maybe you should. But injury.
I'm glad you reached that point. You should.
Thank you.
No, honestly, though, they've given you all the evidence that you need that it's not real.
Yeah.
And you're going, when are they going to turn it on? Draymond picked up his 16th technical. He's expected to be suspended next game unless they rescind it. I don't think they've rescinded it yet unless I missed it. The Wiggins stuff, we don't know what's going on. It's personal. We don't know. All I know is he's not here, and it doesn't sound like he's any closer to returning. If you don't have Andrew Wiggins, you don't have the depth you had last year. It's just not your year. It doesn't mean they can't win a playoff round. It doesn't mean they can't be interesting and win some games in the playoffs. Yeah, they can do that. That's what they've done in the regular season. But they have yet to string together anything that makes you go, oh, this is a championship team. Curry has his moments. Of course he does. It's Steph Curry. Clay's had his moments where he's been unbelievable with his shooting, but they're 7-27 on the road. I can't take you serious if you're 7-27 on the road.
And not to say that he was making a huge impact, but Andre Iguodala and his latest injury as well, right? Like you look at just their depth when their guys like Steph Curry does have a thumb injury or Draymond's going to get suspended because of getting so many technicals in 1 year. It's not the same team. I just have a hard time doubting Steph Curry, but it's a team sport and he's getting older and it's just not the same. I mean, they need Mike Brown back on their roster, on their coaching
Mike
staff.
Brown's not going to help that team at this point.
Ayo, Mike
No,
Brown.
I mean, the depth they had last year was legit.
Okay, I know this is random, but that all is bringing me to this one place, and I don't even care that I'm going here. Last night, Kings playing in that 2-3 defense, and it looking sharp as hell.
Yeah, they've been sprinkling in some more zone, and I don't know that Mike loves doing it all the time.
Yeah.
But I think it's
good at
good to throw different looks. You're seeing more NBA teams go, yeah, we'll throw some zone coverages out there, different looks, whether it's a 2-3 zone or other zones. And the Kings, it looked pretty good.
Mhm.
You know, it's got to communicate. You got to constantly talk. And there's one clip there, Buddy King's film room who put a clip out yesterday. He's going to be on the show tomorrow. You could audibly hear the guys communicate. Yes, and the communication has to be on point. And that was encouraging to see for a team like the Kings. It's obviously not known for being a good defensive team, but throwing in some different looks, and it worked.
But they were all very disciplined too in their closeouts and their rotations, right? And that's what it takes. It takes the entire team to be moving around in the correct spot and not. I think what you see teams do wrong, you always have one guy that's like scatterbrained about it or doesn't understand the role that they're in that zone or in that area on the floor that they are trying to defend. And the Kings have just gotten so much better at even that zone defense. And it's wild to think that we're watching an NBA, the league, play more and more zone lately.
And it makes sense, right? Because a lot of these offenses run a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
And to throw in some different looks, it works.
And because there's so many mismatches when you look at Joel Embiid against so many teams in the league, or Giannis Antetokounmpo, or Jokic. I mean, I mentioned 3 MVP candidates right there, but it's so true when there's so many guys unstoppable. I mean, I should just throw De'Aaron Fox in there as unstoppable, especially in that fourth quarters. But yeah, it's needed.
Kings and Nets coming up tonight. It'll be interesting to see how the Kings respond. Right now, the Nets are favored in that game. That's the one thing with Mike Brown. Last year with the Warriors, he threw in so many different defenses in the Warriors finals run. So I anticipate he's going to try to do the same thing in the playoffs. And I think that's a cool thing is like Mike Brown is savvy enough. He likes coming up with different ideas. And with this team, you're going to have to mix up what they do defensively, especially in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no matter who you're going up against, let's say it was Dallas and there was Luka and Kyrie, even though those are 2 guys that are injured right now, you just are going to have to throw so many different things at a team that has some dominant players. And the postseason, you have to be able to mix it up. You have to be able to throw different things because it's the only way that you can alter the game plan of the other squad that already has the experience of knowing what a postseason is like.
I mean, just we're having these conversations.
How weird, Deuce. Isn't it? Doesn't it feel so good?
You know, usually during this time, it's the Kings going to lose tonight to improve their lottery standings. Tank. Oh, they won that game. I'm so mad. This sucks. Fire this person. Who's going to be the coach? Just having one year where it's like, oh, this is great. You can have your coach of the year, executive of the year, 2 All-NBA guys. You're in the top of the West. And you're the top of the West. You're getting ready for the playoffs for the first time in 16 years. Oh.
How many times last year did I say to you, I just can't wait till we get a breakdown basketball. I just can't wait till we get a breakdown basketball.
We are. We're to that point now. We're talking. Sean just asked us, hey, who do you want to see in the playoffs?
Yeah. I'll never take advantage of this. I'm always going to have the perspective of like just enjoying every moment of this journey. So yeah, it's been great.
All right, coming up next, our final segment of closing time. Kings and Nets coming up tonight. It's Deuce and Mo. This is Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
So hopefully Nick can join us here so we can check that line out. Maybe not. I just saw on the other thing he's not in front of his computer. Okay. I'll let you know.
Simone,
elite laugh.
Elite laugh for sure. I put yours up there, Chris. I'm curious, does Simone follow Vanderpump Rules drama?
Do you follow Vanderpump Rules?
Yes, yes,
Girl.
yes. Tell me.
Well, you saw Ariana had a apology. Yeah, just wait,
She's
just
going
get
in
on.
there, so
Oh, I
she's
was like,
right
just
here.
get on the mic. Here. There you go.
I do. Okay.
No,
Let me
just-
get my cans. Let me get my cans. Have a real fun.
We'll have like 90 seconds, but hurry up. Oh my god. And you know what's funny? I've seen NBA people tweet out about this stuff as well. Yeah. So really quick in a nutshell, Vanderpump Rules is a reality show on Bravo and it's been around forever, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't start getting into reality until the world shut down because I was like, oh, I need to help myself so I don't like get depressed.
Right.
And seeing everyone else's problems
Yeah.
made me so happy, especially rich people
It's
having
the best.
Yes.
I argue with people all the time because it's just such an interesting perspective to let these women and coworkers
Yes.
and everyone interact and navigate,
And
life together. It's just incredible.
And I think Vanderpump Rules, there's not a lot of, and I would say even for Real Housewives, there's not a lot of likable humans for the most part.
Totally.
Like, and that's what makes like the human interaction even more intriguing. Like, I don't like you, but I'm also rooting for you now.
Right. And like, what are your choices? It's all so social to me. And,
Yes.
just breaking down people's choices is fascinating.
Do you binge watch when you watch?
No, I'm keeping up every week.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I wish.
I dropped out of Vanderpump a little bit. It
Same.
kind of, then I just made the jump back recently and I was
Same.
like, oh, it's incredible.
They had higher ratings
Incredible.
than like some, I forget, it was like wrestling shows. I saw like they were
Okay.
saying.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
whoa,
we're getting a little
whoa,
too
whoa,
serious.
yeah, you better
Which is
watch your
also
mouth.
like
That's the
reality
bug.
television,
Yeah.
except it's more rehearsed.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, so I'm so sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
it's real.
Yeah, because Vanderpump not rehearsed at all.
It's not.
Well,
Oh,
right
no,
now
no,
it's
no.
not.
It's
that
not.
may not be, but there was an episode I was watching. I
Of
was like,
course, we can recognize that it is produced,
Yes.
heavily
highly
produced,
Yes.
but it is not scripted. It is not. It's off the cuff.
They'll
like,
put like, "Hey, we really need you to have a conversation with her
Right.
about him cheating on
right,
you,"
and it's
like,
your choice. And I was hearing this really. NPR had an incredible. I'll have to send it to you afterwards.
Please.
An incredible like expose on it, and it was just talking about how the producers will know based on them following characters
Yeah.
or cast members for so long that like, okay, she said this, so I know I need to go get this person's reaction because they're reactive.
yes.
It's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful.
And really quick, Simone, how cool would it be if we had more reality stuff for like sports?
Oh,
Wouldn't you?
it's not good.
Yeah, no, Formula One is great.
See?
The golfing show is great.
See?
If I was a
Also-
team, I do not want any of that stuff coming
Yeah.
out. I don't.
It
It's
does.
not.
It comes around so interesting because then it becomes this thing of like, is it performative? Is it, are you doing this because there's a presence of cameras and you're under a
Right.
lens? Like it's
Formula One
fascinating.
has definitely gained so much more exposure
Yeah.
because of the Netflix show.
Yep.
And then, PGA's trying to do the same thing on
Yeah,
Netflix.
smart.
Is that out
Same.
yet?
Yeah, it is.
It's
I watched
out?
it.
Was
Yeah,
it good?
It was good.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
And
even
it has you more intrigued in the game of golf or not?
I already follow golf pretty heavily.
Wow.
I'm a golf girl. Yeah.
Why?
Nick
So you're telling me on a
always
weekend, you're
gives
like,
me-
I'm going to turn on the
Yeah,
this PGA.
I
turn-
watched the players last week.
What?
I had on the record, I thought that Scotty Scheffler was going to finish top 3,
Hey,
finish number
Morgan,
one
so
in the
fast.
world.
yeah.
that's very nerdy. Huh?
Well, I
But
do.
what kind of young person watches?
I
don't know.
love golf. It's so bad.
5 seconds.
All right, stand by.
Anyway, thanks, Simone.
Oh my God! Oh my God! It's so cool! It's so cool! Happy 316 day!
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is that pretty good?
You're Jim Ross?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Was that a good? How's
Okay.
your Jim Ross?
One more time.
Oh my God.
No,
Okay,
it was
okay.
better the first time.
Okay.
I think you actually did it better. But when you like pushed on it, I think
Yeah.
that might have been your worst one.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
Chris, don't you have a good Jim Ross?
No, not really. Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold.
He has like a little Cartman at the end of
Yeah.
all of his things.
Yeah.
At the all of it. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Cheesy puffs. Yes, Deuce Mason.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know.
Dude.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. What an icon. We're going to talk about him in closing time. What else were we supposed to talk about here, huh?
You look like you died and came back to life. You look
Are you calling me?
You look
who I
like
think you're
the guy?
Oh, the
Is
Undertaker.
he
No.
the main guy?
The guy upstairs?
The original guy that died and came back to life.
Oh, is that what happened? Full
So stupid. You're so dumb.
Spoiler alert.
I kind of knew, but yeah. Oh no.
Is that what you're calling me?
No, I was going, I guess, Undertaker because I don't know the other
I love
story.
that you went with
E.T.
wrestling. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh
Man.
God. Jesus. Okay.
I'm not. No, that's not who I am. I guess. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting tonight watching the NBA games. The Nuggets have lost 4 in a row. They take on the Pistons tonight.
Okay.
If the Nuggets lost to the Pistons,
That sounds fun.
how insane would that be?
Yeah, that would be.
Because then if there would be 5 in a row and you're going, okay, what really is going on? I think they'll be fine. They win tonight.
I agree, but at the same time, you think about our buddy Sean Cunningham coming on and talking all about Michael Malone, who we love, by the way, and what he had to say about his team after their last loss, talking about, hey, I think we're too chill. If they don't respond to what he's saying, especially a game against the Pistons, there's something else going on. Truly. Like, I'm just going to go there. I'm going to speculate, and I'm going to go there. Is that fair?
Is Marvin Bagley playing tonight? Let's see here. Just wanted to Marvin Bagley helps the Kings, but I think he's out.
What about James Wiseman?
Wiseman destroys Jokic tonight.
Oh,
Could you imagine?
very doubtful.
That's not going to happen.
No.
But the Kings are 4.5 out. So if they lost tonight and the Kings won, they would gain a half game, right? So they'd be 4 games. Right?
I
Is that how
don't
it
do
works?
math, man. Come on.
Yeah, Detroit is such a bad team. I mean, the lineup they are deep into like beyond tank mode. The Pistons, the Spurs, the Rockets, and the Pacers now are just like, this is over.
Yeah.
Like Tyrese is missing a ton of games now.
Dude, well, couple questions with that. I know in the beginning of the season, we're like, the real Pacers will be exposed. Like, they'll come back down to earth. Does this mean that they came back down to?
You're right, Matthew. My bad. Denver lost and Sac win is 1 game. So yeah, the Kings would be 3.5 back if they won and Denver lost. Sorry, go ahead.
Were you listening at all?
Yeah, you're talking about the Pacers. And were they real? Blah blah blah.
Yes. And does it mean that they came back down to earth? I kind of forget what I was saying, but either way, just with the Pacers, I think they can still build on what they started creating this season.
Yeah, they're getting a good draft pick. I just, the tanking thing is just so annoying, especially with the odds. Why do you get to this point where, what do you learn during the stretch? Because all you do is fool your fans. I had a Facebook memory that popped up yesterday. It was from 6 years ago. It was Scal. Yeah, I don't use it, but I checked it the other day. And Scal Labissiere had like a 30-something point game against the Suns.
Yeah.
And had 20 in the fourth. And I was like, oh, Scal, blah, 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 and it's like, but what did that mean? And it's nothing against Scal, but this time of year, the great example of this is James Wiseman's putting up some pretty good numbers right now.
For the Pistons against.
But yeah, he's playing minutes and they're just playing. There's nothing at stake here. Just go play. And you just wonder, what does that do for fans? What does it even do for the player at that point?
Speaking of tanking and people tanking for Wemby and everything, I was listening to a Ringer podcast today. They, Scoot Henderson, we talked about him the other day, how he was shut down. They think that he's like now projected 3rd. They're like seeing him go down the lane because Brandon Miller, was it? I don't know. We need Pernille on to talk about him, or whatever. I think that's his name. But either way, why do you even?
Because it's overthinking it. It's just classic overthinking. It's been
but
really
his
good.
shot, they're like, you look at where the league is with shooters, and he's got to get his shot more consistent, more efficient. And I think he adds so much more too, with his body size still being so young, his ability to get to the rim. But it's a fair point.
Okay, if he's not 2, he's 3.
But we talked to him and he said he wants to be number one.
Of course he wants to be number one.
But it wasn't like I want to be number one just to be number one. It was like, no, I've been projected to be number one until Mr. Victor Wembanyama
That's
came
a
around.
long way to go. Let's check in with JR. What's up, JR?
What's up, superstars?
Hey, how are you, dude?
I like how you dropped a blah, blah, blah on Morgan there.
Thank you.
Well, I didn't want to finish your sentence. I was like, yeah, continue. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do that with my wife all the time. Yeah, you said something, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it doesn't go over well. Hey, real quick, though, how about last night? Just the fact, and I know you've been talking about all show, the fact that Barnes did not get fouled, or did not commit the foul, and I went from being just screaming, kicking my cat, slapping whoever was close to me, saying this is F. And then all of a sudden Fox goes, oh, let me just walk down here slowly and do this. And that thing ringed around. I don't know how much you talked about it. I didn't just go right down on the three. It kind of went around. I went, oh, and then I'm like, yeah, that was such a low escalation, high, all in a span of a few seconds, which has been pretty much the King season this year. Awesome. And I give you guys full credit. 100 full credit to you two. Morgan, nice outfits. So you got to wear that PJ outfit tomorrow for St. Patty's Day. That thing you rolled out of bed with.
It spoke
the pajama suit. You're talking about?
It spoke St. Patrick's Day. Definitely did.
Oh, it was lucky. It was magically delicious.
Somebody
See
did.
You later.
Oh, thanks, RJ. You weirdo.
I don't think he
him.
really kicked his cat. Don't worry, guys.
No, and RJ's great. JR. It's funny. It's funny because
JR.
Somebody did say when I walked in with that suit, they're like, oh, is this like for St. Patrick's Day? I've gotten that twice this year where a certain suit is something where like people have it in their mind. They're like, oh, is this like a Craig Sager vibe? Because it was like really sparkly. It just, when I ordered it or rented it or whatever, it just didn't look as sparkly online. So then I was like, got to go with it. Already paid for this. So let's just go this way.
JR is the best.
Oh, and there you go. Deuce thinks he's the best.
He is.
How come?
He just, comes in loose. He's got material. He's ready to go. Brings a little juice to the show.
Kicking
That's
his
a good
cat.
way, yeah.
Yeah, I dig his vibe.
You think he really kicked it like hard?
No, he did not kick his cat. He didn't slap anyone. He even said, I'm slapping everyone around me. He didn't slap anyone. Come on.
I just checked to see if the last 2-minute report from last night came out. It did not come out yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to be okay?
What do you mean?
Well, one, are you going to be okay?
Yeah.
I can see it in your face.
Thanks.
Well,
thanks.
I got some like eye patch
Stop
things
it.
you can put under your eye.
All right. Let's get to closing time.
Closing time. It's closing time. But before we go, we have to give you a last call.
All right. Happy 316 Day. Morgan's not going to have a good answer for this, but in honor of Stone Cold Steve Austin, Chris Verlad, what's your favorite Stone Cold moment?
I literally just watched it last night. It's not my favorite moment, but when he wrestled The Rock, all up until the very end when he shook hands with Vince McMahon, might be one of my favorite matches of all time.
Why did they do that?
Yeah.
The whole...
What? Wait, why?
The alliance with Vince McMahon. He hated Vince forever. Now they're in the same...
But if you go back and watch that match, it holds up today.
I think my favorite moment is just when 316 was born.
When was that?
King of the Ring after he beat Jake the Snake. You want to talk about your Psalms? I forget exactly what he said.
Your Psalms, your John 3:16s.
Well, Austin 3:16 says, I just whooped your ass.
Also, there was another line created that night.
And that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold says so.
Wait, how iconic that was all created in one match.
And it was just off the top of his head.
No.
Yes.
Changed everything.
Improv, baby.
Everything.
Iconic. Organic stuff.
Yeah.
Could be historic.
All right, Kings and Nets. Will the beam be lit tonight, Morgan? The Nets are favored in this game.
Oh, man. I'm a little worried about this one. Mostly just back-to-back on the road, going up against a tough team. Over the one team that's over 500 on this road trip. Are you
predicting a loss tonight?
No, I can't. Kings win.
I think it's going to be a tough loss tonight. Yeah.
Shut up and light the beam.
Yeah, baby.
Beam. All right, coming up next.
Sacramento, do Cool Hand a favor
Yes.
and light the beam.
Do not go anywhere. Nick Callis is in Vegas. He might be 4 cocktails deep. He's probably lost some money today. He's going to be with Rami. It's straight ahead. We love you guys, but we got to go.
See ya.